This ball is into left center field. South Carolina has done it. Back-to-back national titles.
We were the kings of the summer. We were the kings of the...
For over 60 years, college baseball's highest achievement has been determined here in Omaha. The College World Series has become one of baseball's great traditions, with future Hall of Famers ever present. Schmidt, Winfield, Molitor, Clemens, Bonds, Larkin, and Ventura have all competed here. Today, new stars take the field, with championship dreams in sight. The two-time defending champs hope to extend their dominance. Another looks to retain past glory. Others have made the trip before, but never raised the trophy. And it's a maiden voyage for two teams who are trying to complete an improbable journey. But this is not just about baseball. For when the games begin in Omaha, summer is here, and the fans come out to celebrate. So let the games begin and the magic happen, as it always does at the College World Series.
It's the ultimate destination for 291 teams. Omaha, Nebraska, the home of the College World Series. Only 8 teams have made the journey, but they have one common goal: to leave town with a national championship. Welcome to the NCAA College World Series, presented by Capital One. Tonight, 2 of the highest scoring teams in the country square off in a first-round matchup as the Arizona Wildcats take on the 3rd-seeded Florida State Seminoles. One game has already been played today in this double elimination tournament. The Cinderella Seawolves of Stony Brook were rudely welcomed to Omaha in the opener, losing to 2nd-seeded UCLA. The winner of tonight's game will face the Bruins on Sunday night, while tonight's loser plays Stony Brook in an elimination game. Tomorrow, Bracket 2 gets underway with Kent State taking on Arkansas at 5, then a great one for the nightcap. The 2-time defending champs will battle SEC foe and number 1 Florida Gators in a rematch of last year's national title game. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick, Nomar, Garciaparra. It's great to have you with us. Jessica Mendoza will join us shortly. Well, when they put in the bat restrictions a couple of years ago, college baseball turned back into a game of more pitching and defense. But somebody forgot to tell Arizona, because the Wildcats are hitting a ridiculous .333 as a team.
And that .333 ranks 4th nationally. Let's not forget, 4th nationally out of 291 teams. And they can score some runs. I mean, they are hot right now. They've won 6 straight. And in those five postseason games, they average over 12 runs. And how are they doing this? All under the guidance of Andy Lopez. Just a tremendous head coach. He's one of just 3 coaches to bring 3 different schools here to the College World Series. And he's trying to win another one here with these Arizona Wildcats. The last time he's been back was back in 2004. Let's see if he can do it again.
Florida State comes in here hot, too, in their sweep against Stanford in the Super Regional. They put up some crazy numbers.
Well, they beat Stanford. They outscored them 35-8 in those 2 games in the regional. And under Hall of Fame coach Mike Martin, I mean, on his 33rd season, this is his 15th trip here to the College World Series. And he's going to try to do something that's never been done in Florida State history, and that's win a College World Series. This is the 21st time Florida State has been at the College World Series, and still no title. The question is 21 the charm?
Well, it's game 2 of the 2012 College World Series on a perfect night for baseball in the heartland. Arizona FSU.
And UCLA wins. They're going to Omaha for the 4th time. Struck him out. The Arizona Wildcats are heading back to Omaha.
Stony Brook, you have shocked the world. The NCAA College World Series is presented by the Capital One Cup, recognizing the best of the best in college sports, and in part by the 2012 Ford F-150. Built Ford tough.
We're at TD Ameritrade in Omaha for the College World Series, and our first chance to check in with Jessica Mendoza. Jess?
Well, last year, James Ramsey, as a junior, was drafted in the 22nd round of the Minnesota Twins, and everyone at Florida State thought that he would go pro. But he decided to stay. He wanted to lead Florida State to the first ever national championship in the 21 years that they have been to the College World Series. He told me before the game that this is a team of horses, and he is the jockey.
When James told me in August that he was coming back to school, it's one of the few times I've gotten off the phone, went outside, and screamed.
I'm all about playing the game with a fire and a passion. And so, really just always an ultimate competitor. And so when I knew I had a chance to come back and leave behind a legacy, I definitely jumped on that.
He knows how to treat people. He knows who needs to be pushed. He knows who needs to be left alone. It's fun to watch him hit. I'll stand on deck and he'll take a swing at a pitch and just look awful at it. And then the next pitch, throw the exact same pitch thinking he's going to do the same thing, he'll hit it out of the ballpark.
When Coach announced that I'd be the first player to ever wear the C on my jersey, I think it was a tremendous honor.
One of the best leaders we've ever had, the first guy to ever wear a C on his chest, and it's for good reason. This guy is one of a kind.
One of the reasons James Ramsey is the first to ever wear that C on his chest is his father, Craig, was a captain at Florida State on the baseball team, but he credits his mom, Mary, as a tennis player. It was her backhand that taught him that beautiful left-handed swing.
He is something to watch, isn't he, Jess? First round draft choice. Now let's take a look at our Capital One starting lineup for the Arizona Wildcats. They come in 43-17. Rickard, the center fielder, will lead it off. Johnny Field bats second, plays left field. Alex Mejia, the three-man, is the shortstop. Robert Refsnyder will play right field and hit cleanup. Seth Mejia-Spreen at third base, hitting fifth, followed by the DH Bobby Brown, and then Joseph Maggi at first. The number 8 man, Riley Moore, is the catcher, and batting ninth and playing second base is Trent Gilbert.
And Alex Mejia, the Pac-12 Player of the Year. I mean, he's in the 3-hole, but look for him. He'll still sack bunt. He'll hit and run. He'll do a lot of the little things, a lot of small ball. And a lot of people on his team say he is the heart and soul of this club.
Not only the Player of the Year, but the Defensive Player of the Year as well. I mean, he is everything. And they will face Brandon Liebrandt, the 6'4", 180-pound freshman out of Alpharetta, Georgia.
He comes at you with a fastball, slider, changeup, really pitches off that fastball and changeup. And if you see the name, recognize the name, yes, he is the son of Charlie Liebrandt. And he's also done something that's a first. First freshman to ever start opening day for the Florida State Seminoles.
2-0 in the NCAA. 14 innings pitched. He's done a tremendous job all year for this ball club. And he goes against Joey Rickard, hitting .326 on the season. Junior out of Las Vegas. 6'1", 185 pounds.
You're going to see a lot of good averages on this Arizona club. You saw that .326 average, but guys even out there have over 400 on base percentage. These guys work the count. They try to get on base any way possible.
Strike called by Liebrandt. He's not going to overpower you, but he has very good control. Works both sides of the plate. Check the swing, but it's in there for a called strike. Sun not a factor anymore, just shining at the top of the outfield wall. Chopper hit towards second, and Devin Travis out. Throws him out. Very good defense for this ball club. They turned 6 double plays in the Super Regional that helped them win it. across the outfield, left to right, Brizuela. Ramsey in center can fly. Delf in right. The infield from left to right, Sherman Johnson, an excellent shortstop in Gonzalez. Then Travis and Jace Boyd. Behind the plate, Stephen McGee, who has caught a remarkable 539 innings this year out of a possible 561.
Somebody get him some water.
Mike Martin said he thought about giving him a couple of days off, but he said, McGee scares me. He's bigger than I am.
He said, no, I'm not getting a day off. Okay, I mean, you got to admire that as your head coach. You're like, all right, stay in there.
Johnny Field hitting .383. Stands in. He's a sophomore, 5'10", 194. Took something off there at 76 miles.
We talked about these Arizona hitters. I mean, here's Johnny Field, who led the Pac-12 in batting average and on base percentage as well. And he had a .490 on base percentage, which ranks 7th in the nation.
Ball and 2 strikes. Strike 3 called. Too quickly gone here in the Arizona first.
Well, we see Lee Brandt going in there and spotting that fastball on the inner part, just catching the corner there. I mean, that is a great pitcher's pitch. As a right-hander, you've either found that off, and there's Dad. I'm sure he's very proud of that pitch, and way to paint the corners and stay right there, son. You'll be all right today.
He said his dad never put it on any pressure on him to play baseball or to be a pitcher. It's just something that he found very enjoyable to do as a kid, even knowing that his dad was going to have a lot of answers if he was going to ask him the questions. Alex Mejia stands in at .361. 3 home runs, 52 driven in this year. Pitches very much like his dad did.
You saw his dad there, and you know, Brandon's a freshman here, and I'm sure he's got some nerves, but I don't think they're any more than his dad probably has right now watching it.
I'll bet. 3-0, and a fastball down the middle. Mejia taking all the way.
Well,
he is a kid Andy Lopez just
he loves him. Oh, look, we talk about the heart and soul. But look for him. I mean, here he is at the plate, but there are times when he's on defense, he goes and talks to the pitcher before the coach does.
Chop back up the middle and through. The infield is a little concerned they were on the same path. Gonzalez and Travis closing on the second base bag, and it sneaked through for a hit.
Even with if Travis comes up with this ball, I think he'd have a very difficult play trying to throw out Mejia. I mean, you see that chopper trying to get down there, and I mean, if he picks that ball up, then he has to throw across his body and just off the edge of his glove. Would have been a tough play either way.
This team will hit and run and steal a lot, normally not with Ref Snyder at the plate. He is their power. 6 home runs, 61 driven in. And that's 6 home runs and 61 RBIs with an enormous home ballpark. This is a big park here, TD Ameritrade. This is smaller than the one they played.
Yeah, they think this is very plays to their strengths here. They're used to something big. They say, let's hit those line drives. Let's not worry about the home run. If they come, they come.
Runner goes, throw, safe. A stolen base for Mejia, his 7th of the season.
Well, Arizona putting that pressure on early on Florida State, trying to get guys moving, putting the pressure on the defense. Already getting a guy in scoring position with Mejia. Definitely gets in there sliding, gets that foot in first.
Single and a stolen base, has a runner in scoring position for Ref Snyder out of Laguna Hills, California. Second in the conference with those 61 runs driven in. In the air, in foul territory, playable. Boyd is there. The inning is over. Charlie saying, you did fine, son. One little single, no problem. We've played a half inning here in Omaha. There is no score between Arizona and Florida State. Let's take a look at our Capital One starting lineup. For the Seminoles, Sherman Johnson, very good at drawing walks, will lead it off and play third base. Devin Travis, the second baseman, bats second. Then James Ramsey in center field. Jace Boyd, the first baseman, is the cleanup man. Stephen McGee, the catcher, hits fifth. Justin Gonzalez will play shortstop and hit sixth. Josh Delf in right. John Holland, the DH tonight. And Jose Brizuelo will bat ninth and play left field.
Well, you got James Ramsey there. You see coming in with a .382 batting average. He wears the C on his chest, but it might be an S because he is just a stud. He's an ACC Player of the Year. He's a first-team All-American, an academic All-American, and if you spend 5 minutes with him, you just say he's just an All-American person.
Absolutely. They'll face Kurt Heyer, the junior from Huntington Beach, California. He's won 12 games. Remarkably, he has 7 complete games.
Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. Key for him today is see if he can get that fastball under the hands of the hitters. If he can get it under the hands, then he can expand that strike zone. You can see those 12 wins. That's tied for the National League.
And 138 innings is more than anybody else in college baseball. One of the reasons, actually 2 reasons, they go so deep in ball games. Andy Lopez loves his starters. Number 2, he's not that thrilled with his bullpen.
So you guys are going deep. Deep in the ball game. Go out there, give it everything you have, and they have for him. They've really gone out there and performed.
Sherman Johnson, second in the nation in walks with 65. That's fisted back out of play. Tanner Wade of New Mexico State is the national leader, but his season's done.
Going back to this pitch right here. This is the pitch we're talking about. This is the key for Heyer on the mound. If he can get that underneath the hands right there, that was a good pitch. If he stays right there, he can keep these hitters off balance.
Same pitch, popped up. Reaches the seats. The catcher, Riley Moore, never found it. Heyer went 129 pitches deep against St. John's in the Super Regional.
Look
He
at that
beat the
line.
cutoff, though. They told him 130.
That's the cutoff. 9 1/3 innings, 17 hits.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. Sherman Johnson goes down on strikes to start the Seminole first.
Well, what sets up this good breaking ball for a swing and miss was that fastball up and in the hands, underneath the hands. So as a hitter, you're looking for that fastball in, and then he drops a breaking ball that the bottom falls right out of it, and you swing right over it.
Devin Travis stands in, hitting .310 with 7 home runs on the season. Not going to be many hit out of this ballpark. There was one in the first game. The home runs you'll see probably pulled right down the lines. Not only is it a big ballpark, the ball does not carry particularly well here unless you've got an odd wind that's blowing out, as it was earlier today. 1-1 to Travis. Breaking ball misses. 2 balls and a strike.
And we talked about these teams swinging that bat. University of Arizona coming in, and they only have 20 home runs on the year, while the Seminoles have 43. And this man, Travis, had 2 in the first game of the Super Regional.
Foul tips that one. Well, how much of that is power and how much of that is where they play? The Seminoles do have a short porch and right with a screen out there. And as we said, Arizona plays in a ballpark where the power alleys are 405 and 410. You're not going to get many out of there. This one's fouled off the right side.
I'm sure the field definitely has a factor in those numbers. There's no question. I mean, it doesn't matter what level. Even if you go up to the big leagues, there's a lot of ballparks that as you see different averages, home runs are hit more in certain ballparks than others. And then you kind of build your team around that fact.
Playing Devin Travis way around to right, and then he pulls it to left. First base hit for the Seminoles on a line drive single, and it gets James Ramsey to the plate.
Well, Devin Travis does a good job. Here's a fastball. You can see the movement on that fastball coming in on those hands once again, but able to bring those close to his body to get that barrel out in front and hit a line drive to left field.
Ramsey stands in at 382, 13 home runs, 57 driven in. First round draft choice this year after being a 22nd pick of the Minnesota Twins a year ago, deciding he was going to go pro, and then he started thinking about all the things that were undone at Florida State, including his graduation. He's an outstanding student. A championship, perhaps. The president of 2 campus organizations, all sorts of things that he didn't want to walk away from. So he came back, and not only has he benefited from it, but the team has as well.
You think about, well, that's everything he's accomplished, but going from the 22nd round to the first round.
Fastball caught the corner. 0-2 to Ramsey. He is in the top 10 national in 5 offensive categories. He's had a remarkable season.
It's interesting to see how maybe the pitcher and these hitters are going to go at it when I think of higher on the mound. I mean, we talked about that 130 pitch limit. He pitches complete games, and here's a very patient Florida State ball club. I mean, they take their walks, they work the counts.
Took it the other way and served it into left field for a base hit. Back-to-back line drive singles for the Seminoles. So Ramsey comes through, and it sets up the cleanup man, Jace Boyd.
Staying on that ball, not pulling off of it, keeping his head down. Great angle right here. See that head down, staying with it, and driving it the other way. Not trying to pull that ball when you always hear, well, he didn't try to do too much with it.
Exactly.
Well, when you try to do too much, that means you're really trying to yank it and pull the ball. He didn't do that. He stayed with it and had a nice line drive the opposite field.
Jace Boyd leads the club with a 389 average. Picked by the Mets in the 6th round of this year's Major League Baseball draft.
This Florida State ball club really relies on the top of their lineup to produce some runs. Those 1 through 5 guys going out there and knocking people in. And once again, they have an opportunity here. They got the guys on they want and the guy at the plate that they want.
Ball and a strike. Boyd has power, but has never fallen in love with it. He'll spray the ball around just like Ramsey does. Leads the ACC in hits and average. Fastball line toward right, but right at Refsnyder. 2 gone here in the Seminole first.
Those are ones as a hitter, you have to go, okay, I hit that ball well. I had bad aim right there, hit it right out somebody. I don't want to get down on myself. You know, like you said, he doesn't mind spraying that ball around. He does it as a guy that has power. You know, we saw him in the Super Regional. He had a home run over the right field wall. And that's one of those, okay, it was a good swing. Let's stay right there. Let's not get upset with the result.
2 on 2 out for Stephen McGee, the sophomore out of Port St. Lucie. Done an outstanding job behind the plate for them this year, but he's only hitting .243.
So many times we expect so much out of catchers to go out there and swing the bat and then go out there and do the job behind the plate. And let's not forget McGee out there. And Mike Martin really credits him a lot because he has to handle this young pitching staff.
Sure does. And he hasn't had that much experience as a hitter. Only had 21 at-bats as a freshman. Took that one, but it's a called strike on the corner. 1-2. Daylight play at second base. Back in time is Travis. Got good speed at second, good speed at first with Ramsey. And 1 and 2 to Stephen McGee. If it's a pitch inside, he's not going anywhere. He leads his club in hit by pitches. Did he go? No. Check swing, and it's 2 and 2.
Get a good angle right here. We'll see it. Now he held up. That's just sheer strength right there to hold that barrel and going after the ball.
That used to be the umpire's call behind the plate. Now it's such a better system now that they'll check with a third or first base umpire. Straight away to center field, and the third out of the inning. Seminoles with 2 hits. They strand 2. After the break, ever wonder what it's like inside a team dog pile? Inside? We'll take you there when we come back. We've played one in Omaha, no score between Arizona and Florida State. At the Super Regionals against Stanford, the Seminoles' Brian Bush had a GoPro camera on his head to get a bird's eye view from the Seminoles dog pile. Here's what it looked like.
That's great. I bet you he's hoping he can use that camera once again at the end of this tournament.
I thought the fun part was James Ramsey waiting till everybody else was in it. Then he dove over it. He had too much lift.
Sometimes
and had to dive back again.
He overlaunched the pile.
They won the Atlantic Division of the ACC, then 3-0 in the regional, allowing only 3 runs in 3 games. Defeated Stanford in 2 straight as they piled up the runs. So they are 5-0 in postseason play after inexplicably going 0-3 in the ACC tournament. Seth Mejias Breen stands in.
Well, here you go,
2-0. He's a 6'2", 210-pound junior out of Tucson, a homegrown product.
He's coming in here. You see that 366 batting average, but he's also riding a 13-game hitting streak.
Called strike. The hitting philosophy for this club is take it back up the middle. That's right at Travis at second base, and he'll throw him out. 1 gone. Hope you'll join us on Facebook and Twitter. Search ESPN Omaha on Facebook. You can also follow our announcers on Twitter for all the latest news. Post video and highlights of your tailgate and viewing parties so we can share those with our viewers. Hope you'll do that, and hope you enjoy our coverage of the College World Series, and I hope that enhances it. Strike on the corner to Bobby Brown, lefty against lefty. He's the DH out of San Diego, hitting .356 this year. Another one of the all-conference performers for Andy Lopez.
Yes, he did. I got it right here.
Said he swung 0-2.
And Bobby Brown, one of the favorites on this team as well, because here he is. He's a redshirt senior. He's graduated this spring. And they joke with him often and say, didn't you play with Coach Lopez?
Ball's out.
That's outside. He majored in history, also had minors in sociology and anthropology. 1 ball, 2 strikes. .356 is a pretty good average for a kid who started the season hitting 4 for 30. Second strikeout for Lee Brandt. 2 gone. Two out, nobody on for Joseph Maggi out of Phoenix. 5'10", 175, just a freshman. Lee Brandt with very good control so far, and when he keeps the ball down, it's a lot of ground ball. It's just very difficult to get a hit off it.
Yeah, he works both sides of the plate. It's tough to get a read whether he's going to stay away from you or come in on your hands.
Foul. Here you go, take it.
Got up around his chin with that one, and he swung at it. It's 1-2. Pretty good in the last 8 starts, isn't it? 2.47 ERA.
Yeah, 5-1. And it's hard to believe that he's just a freshman.
Breaking pitch called, strike 3. 3 up, 3 down here in the second. Lee Brandt is on tonight, and we'll go to the bottom of the second. 0-0.
It's a crazy town full of neon dreams. Everybody plays, everybody sings. Hollywood with a touch of twang. To be a star, you gotta bang, bang, bang. It's a crazy town.
I do love Jason Aldean. That is a great song. Bottom of the second, Arizona with 1 hit, Florida State with a couple in the home half of the first, and they will send up Justin Gonzalez to lead it off, the junior out of Miami, their outstanding shortstop. Gonzalez hitting .242. Got some pop, 8 home runs.
And you see the 27th round pick for the Dodgers this year.
Ball.
He was hurt earlier in the year. He had a hamstring injury. And Mike Martin says we are just a better team when he is in the lineup.
Swing and a miss on a fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Gonzalez leading off the Florida State second inning. 21st trip to the College World Series for Florida State is a program, and the 15th for Mike Martin.
Ball.
Won a lot of games out here, but they've never won it all. And Andy Lopez said something very interesting at our meeting this morning. He says, you know, I want to win this, but if I can't, I hope he does. And I think probably every other coach out here probably feels the same way. Smoked into left field. Johnson rolled over on one and got it through the hole. The 3rd hit for the Seminoles. All to left field off of Kurt Heyer.
Well, we're looking for that pitch away. He gets the pitch away. It's a good pitch by Heyer, but Gonzalez going out there, extending those hands, reaching out and driving it to left field. It's good, good. Sometimes you got to tip your hat to the hitter, doing an excellent job. You hit your spot. Oh.
Bottom 3 men in the order, all left-handers and all freshmen. This is Josh Delph out of Bartow, Florida. Checking the dugout to see if anything's on.
The third baseman is in because they're assuming and playing for that sacrifice. Bottom of the lineup, you'd think that he might want to move the guy over.
Ball.
Not showing anything yet.
And then you have Justin Gonzalez over there at first base. He has 13 stolen bases on the year, so he will run.
Got a good lead. Not going, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, sometimes you don't want to run. You've got that nice opening.
It was a good pitch there, but also Kurt Heyer, he was pretty quick to the plate, had that slide step, which makes it very difficult to run on. Even if you're thinking about stealing a base, you see how quick he is, and you're trying to time him. And that quick to the plate, it's tough to get a jump.
Maggi holding at first, which creates that big gap over there. Goes after another outside pitch and can't get it. 1 gone as Delph fans. Second strikeout for Heyer.
I mean, he's just been hitting his spots. That was up, but it was still away. I mean, even if it's a ball there, he can get away with it. See if he gets that swing and miss. But as long as he's away in the area, couldn't do too much damage if they happen to make contact on that ball.
John Holland gets the start as the DH tonight. There's a fastball in there. Heyer has struck out 104 this year and walked only 22. It's a strike on the corner, so if you're going to get to him, you're going to have to hit your way on.
You see these FSU hitters, they're trying to be patient. We talk about how many walks. They're not afraid to take their walks, but I wonder if they also have in the back of their mind knowing that there is a 130 pitch limit on Heyer and trying to get to that bullpen, but that's part of their game anyway. I mean, This is what FSU does. They try to work the count. They try to get those walks. They seem to get hit by pitches an awful lot, 95 hit by pitches. They do a lot of different things other than just getting hits to get on base.
1 out, 1 on for John Holland. Yeah, before we go, that's what we want to see. Checking throw to first, trying to keep Gonzalez close. With 13 steals, he leads the ball club this year. Two balls, 2 strikes to John Holland. Bottom part of the Seminole order. Holland, the 8-hitter. Brizuela is on deck. He's the number 9 man. They'd like to turn the order over and get back up to Sherman Johnson with men on base if they could. Fastball hit in the air to straightaway left, and Johnny Field a couple of steps to his left to make the catch. 2 gone. And if nothing else, he gets the number 9 man up in this inning, so that even if he makes an out, he'd start the 3rd with the leadoff man.
And we mentioned about Justin Gonzalez having 13 stolen bases. I mean, Kurt Heyer's doing a good job holding him on. Another quick move over there. He's got a quick move to first. And when you have a guy who has a quick move as a base stealer, you can't be leaning one way. And like I said, he's got a quick slide step to home plate as well.
Ball's in.
That pitch inside to Brizuela, just a freshman, hitting .226. Has hit a couple of home runs this year. Last 3 weeks he's been pretty good. Over the 10-game span in those 3 weeks, he's hitting .276.
We talked about there's Mejia going out there talking to the pitcher, settling down. Mentioned that there are often times when Andy Lopez wants to go talk to the pitcher and he stops because Mejia goes to talk to him. And he goes, all right, he's like my second coach out there. He knows how to settle him down. He recognizes the situation and he goes to talk to the pitcher. Lopez even mentioned that whenever they have pitchers meetings and going over the hitters, which is not mandatory for everybody, Mejia is always at those meetings, wants to know what they're trying to do and how they're going to attack the hitters.
Well, if you're the shortstop, you want as much information as possible, don't you?
Right. You want to understand how they want to go, because it allows you to get that. I always call it a lean or kind of a cheat, going, okay, you're going to hit your spot on the inside. I can move left or right if it's going that way. Understanding if you're going to go with guys off speed. But it's a huge asset to Andy Lopez, because if a guy that way who's been around, who's been playing that way, and recognizing the time when I have to go talk to my pitcher and settle him down, they only get 2 trips to the mound, so it eliminates, him having to go talk to him.
Exactly. 2-1, line back up the middle, 1 hop to the shortstop Mejia, threw him out. Nice play by Mejia to get out of the inning. Seminoles have 3 hits through 2 innings, but nothing else to show for it. Nothing through 2.
Out. It's a crazy town full of neon dreams. Everybody plays, everybody sings. Hollywood with a touch of.
Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the NCAA College World Series, presented by Capital One. Opening day here in Omaha at TD Ameritrade, and UCLA knocks off Stony Brook tomorrow in day 2. Kent State against Arkansas. That's a 5 o'clock start, and we'll have Carl Ravitch, Kyle Peterson, and Jen Brown along to bring you that ball game, and then we'll be back tomorrow night for the 2-time defending national champions South Carolina against the tournament's overall #1 seed Florida Gators. Riley Moore, the freshman from Santa Barbara, California, one of the most beautiful places on earth, leads off. Riley Moore hitting .292.
Right, and if you happen to have whether he hits right or left, he's down as a switch hitter. And you see lefty on left, and he's still lefty, but he says he's struggling early batting from the right side, so he's just saying, I'm just going to stay from the left side. And after that swing right there, obviously it doesn't bother him. Line driving that ball, but he's feeling more comfortable, having a lot more success just staying from this left side.
Drafted by the Phillies out of high school, instead chose to go to Arizona and play some college ball. Knocks this one into left for a base hit. So Riley Moore starts the 3rd inning with a single.
Well, he pulls a ball foul, and when you pull a ball foul that way as a hitter, oftentimes you're going, all right, man, I can straighten that out. I crushed that ball. And then you go the other way. You just stay on top of that ball and go the other way. That's what, when we as hitters say, that's a good piece of hitting, that's the reason why. You go over there, you stay on it, and get yourself a base hit.
Trent Gilbert, the #9 man, squares to bunt. They're really good at this. Sherman Johnson, the 3rd baseman, will throw him out, but the sacrifice gets Moore down to 2nd base.
Well, you said they're really good at this. This ball is up. Oftentimes, that's a tough ball to get on top of and to put that bunt down. And Gilbert did an excellent job getting that barrel above the ball and laying it down.
Joey Rickard stands in. He grounded out to 2nd baseman Devin Travis his first time up. Got 31 RBIs as a leadoff man this year, has a man in scoring position. Rickard checking with Matt Siegel, the 3rd base coach, to see what they want. Caught the corner with a fastball.
It's a tough pitch.
That was a change.
That was a tough pitch. I mean, good pitch, good spotting that changeup on the outer part of the plate. And as a hitter, you don't know what to do with that pitch. I mean, Kazan looked like it was off the plate. That's a pitcher's pitch right there. I mean, it might as well stay out there. If your umpire's going to give you that, stay out there.
This one lined past the 2nd baseman Travis into center field. Ramsey trying to get it back in. It scores a run. Rickard comes through with his 32nd RBI.
That pitch also was up in the zone. We saw Gilbert Moore doing an excellent job staying on top of the ball. And now here Rickard is. High fastball, stays on top. Stays up the middle with it. You mentioned, Mike, right at the beginning, these guys' approach is hit the ball up the middle. Perfectly executed. RBI.
3 hits off of Lee Brandt, 2 in this inning, and a run across for Johnny Field. Struck out his first time up.
Lee Brandt trying to keep the base runner close over there at Rickard. Rickard's one guy who has the green light. He can, that's one thing Andy Lopez says. We like to run, we like to put pressure on, but if there's one guy who understands the running game and lets him go, that's Rickard at first base.
Led the Pac-12 with 18 steals. This one's popped up foul territory, playable for Boyd. There's the second out of the inning.
That was one right there. You saw Fields swinging early on that ball. I just mentioned about Rickard. Here's a guy who's leading your team in stolen bases with 18. He's a speedster on there. Also trying, you saw Lee Brandt throwing over there a little bit. Maybe think about maybe taking a pitch, see if he gets an opportunity to get a jump and get over there to second base for you.
Stephen McGee, the catcher, not throwing as well as he had at other points in the year. He has had some shoulder problems. There they pitch out. But he has thrown out 22 out of 80 attempted stealers. Mejia singled his first time up. Another throw to first. One home here in the Arizona third. They're on top of the Seminoles 1-0. 2 outs and 1 man aboard.
Foul.
It's fouled back out of play. 1-1.
Here you go.
You know, both these teams, you got to, you know, I know here they are, they're meeting in the College World Series. They don't play each other during the season, but they have scouting reports. They recognize, they know which guys steal bases. They know guys who aren't afraid to run. They watch video on pitchers. You know, I'm sure Rickard was sitting down watching video on Lee Brandt, seeing if he can pick up anything. You know, his move to home, his move over to first base, try to get something so he can get that good jump and steal that bag.
You want to know how good an athlete the hitter Mejia is. He hurt his wrist at the start of the season. And when he was trying to hit, he hurt his left wrist, so it was his lead hand, and it hurt every time he would swing at the ball. So he said just before the first game to Andy Lopez, "Coach, I want to hit left-handed." Runner goes, ball popped up. That's going to reach the seats. And Andy Lopez said, "What do you mean you want to hit left-handed? Have you ever hit left-handed before?" And he says, "No, but I'd like to hit left-handed because I can't hit right-handed right now." He said, "Well, you can't do that." And he said, "Well, come on, let me hit it." Got 2 hits.
Yeah, Andy Lopez said, he goes, "It's okay. I'm just going to I'll put you deep in the lineup, about 8th or 9th. You'll just bunt. They won't know you're hurt. You know, take some pitches." And he goes, "No, I'll just hit left-handed." "Oh, okay."
Jammed him and bobbled it short. Gonzalez charging it, couldn't come up with it. Would have been a tough play with Mejia running anyway.
You're right. So here's a high chopper. You say it was a tough play with Mejia running, but even as a short, if he comes up with that, you know, I still think he gets him right there. I think you're trying to rush it too much. Got to make sure that you have the ball first. You know, can't worry about the speed of the runner. You got to make the play first. And I think he comes up with that. As athletic and as good as an arm as Gonzalez has, I think he still gets him out there. So
a rare mistake by Justin Gonzalez. And now Mike Martin on his way to the mound. He wants to talk to Lee Brandt. Because Ref Snyder is coming up. He's the power in this lineup. To keep up with all of the NCAA College World Series information, just log on to NCAA.com. It's the official online home for all 89 NCAA championships. Lee Brandt's been touched for 3 hits and a run. Now pitching in the third. He's fan 3, hasn't walked anybody. This is his biggest jam with 2 on 2 outs.
Biggest jam and biggest challenge. You got Ref Snyder up, who has a .411 batting average of runners in scoring position this year.
Ball. Missed low with a change.
I mean, good hitters. When you're hitting there, you're hitting that fourth in that lineup. This is the times that your eyes get big. You just lick your chops going, this is what I want. I want to knock that guy in. I got a guy in scoring position. This is the spot I want to be in.
Refsnyder, drafted in the 5th round by the Yankees. Throw behind at first, not in time.
Good try by McGee and Boyd over there. At first, Mejia got a good secondary. He was pretty close over there. He almost got caught leaning the other way. Good effort. Try to get yourself out of the inning, especially with a guy like Refsnyder up at the plate.
Gotta love catchers who are not afraid to throw behind the runner. High fastball fouled straight back. 2-1.
And you and I did the game over there at Florida State, and this is one thing about Lee Brandt. He's a freshman coming in, but when he gets himself in jams, he seemed to find a way out of it. He did an excellent job in that first game. When we saw him pitch, he stays very composed, doesn't let him rattle him at all.
This is low there, and with the fastball, 87, 88 miles an hour, he gets away with a lot of high fastballs.
He does, and the reason he gets away with those is because he has command of his pitches. He can go up, but he also stays down in the zone. So you get your sights down first. That allows him to come up in the zone and get you to swing and miss.
Here's the 3-1 to Refsnyder, right back through the box. That'll get 1 run home, and runners at first and third as Refsnyder delivers. So the error at short by Gonzalez cost him a 2nd run.
Well, he didn't get away with this high pitch. This ball was up in the zone, right down the middle. And as a hitter, that's exactly what you do with the ball down the middle. You want to drive it right back up the middle, and almost takes the head off of Lee Brandt right there. Just gets out of the way.
Even if Ramsey comes up with a clean, I don't think he
has no chance. He has no chance at home, but as a hitter, those are what you're trying to do. I mean, that feels so good. You drive that ball right back up the middle.
It's a great approach as a hitter, and they all do it. And it's been spurred by the fact they play in such a big ballpark. It's to their advantage to take it back up the middle. Mejia Spreen 0 for 1 tonight, grounded out to second. Runners at first and third. 2 out and 2 home. Chased a changeup at 77 miles an hour.
Well, I think that we talked about the size of that ballpark at High Corbett over there in Tucson, and it has really been a factor in the way they hit. It was frustrating early in the season. Andy Lopez was saying how they struggled the first 3 weeks, but then they bought into it, say, hey, we can use this to our advantage and start hitting those gaps. He said, I had a philosophy. He goes, if they throw it high and hard, you won't be rewarded. But if you stay low and hard, you will. And they keep hitting those line drives, and we see it already today.
They went from something that they really disliked to something that they embraced, and it was the same thing. Off-speed pitch, hit toward left. And the line drive caught by Brizuela. The inning is over, but Arizona brings 2 runs across. And one of the big plays, Justin Gonzalez charging a high hopper and can't get there. And some clutch hitting by the Arizona Wildcats, hitting .333 as a team this year. The 46th tournament champion was Pepperdine, coached by Andy Lopez back in '92. The most outstanding player was Phil Nevin of Cal State Fullerton. What a player he was in college, went on to have an outstanding pro career as well. And Andy Lopez won it in his mid-30s. He has taken 3 teams now to the College World Series. Only 2 other men have ever done that. He took Florida twice. He's brought Arizona twice, brought Pepperdine out, and they win it all. He has had just a tremendous record in his 30 seasons, over 1,000 wins. This ball hit to deep right, way back and gone on a line drive by Sherman Johnson, his 5th home run of the year. The Seminoles cut the lead in half. We saw him do that in Tallahassee. He's got line drive, home run power.
I mean, we said he was second in the nation in walks with 65. I want to see this guy swing the bat. I mean, that ball falls over the heart of the plate. Talked about the key, trying to keep that fastball underneath the hands. That ball doesn't stay underneath the hands. It starts off there and falls down the middle of the plate. And Sherman Johnson does not miss.
And he hit it where you can get it out of here. You've got to be able to pull it. Anything to center field or to the power alleys, you don't have a whole lot of a chance. Devin Travis to straightaway center. Rickard records the first out of the third.
This is a good, that got out in a hurry as well. And he swung and he made a nice swing, bringing those hands in nicely. You see the bench over there. So you can do that in college. You can all jump out there and get at home plate. You know, usually in the pro level, it's only if it's a walk-off, you know, because the next time, if everybody's getting excited, they send you a message. That's okay. Here, that's okay. You love it. Getting excited, that's what the College World Series is all about.
And the message they deliver usually leaves a lump.
Lump or a mark?
Ramsey checked his swing, 2-0.
You see Johnson over there right next to Gonzalez, picked them up right there. You know, Gonzalez made that error that cost him one run, got it back. Now as a team, you're thinking, let's get back, we're right back in this game. Because that's what you want to do. You know,
Ramsey takes a called strike.
If you're Kurt Heyer, you're going, I got to get my team back in there. We scored 2. And if you're Florida State, you want to try to get that momentum back on your side. Get a run on that board.
Inside, 3 balls and a strike to the captain and the emotional leader of this ball club, James Ramsey. Called strike 2, shakes his head like, yep, good pitch.
He knows that was a strike. He was, you know, good hitters. They look for one spot. You know, one spot he can drive, probably a ball he can pull, and that was on the outer half. And he takes it for a strike.
Just high. And Ramsey draws a walk to get the cleanup man, Jace Boyd, to the plate. Boyd hit the ball hard as out Mejia again in a conference with his pitcher, Kurt Heyer. Some guys just have a feel for the game, the instincts, and obviously Mejia is one of them. Strike on the corner.
Well, you got the shortstop who's in the game, sees everything that's going on. And also, you know, Mejia up here being a junior compared to your freshman catcher. So oftentimes you might be able to see something more than just your freshman catcher who's really focused on just catching the ball right now. So that veteran leadership to come out there and settle down your pitcher.
Fouled straight back. No balls and 2 strikes. Ramsey down at first is second on this team in stolen bases, has 11 this year. How much do you want to run with your power guy up, with your cleanup man at the plate?
That's out.
Right, with Jace Boyd, the way he swings that bat, and you also know that he's, you know, he has some power. When you talked about, he doesn't think about it, but with these gaps, you know, he can hit that ball in the gap. I'd want to let him see him swing. I don't want to take myself out of this game. I'd like to stay there because he can hit a gap and you can score from first, as big as these gaps are.
Rickard in center field just moved 4 steps toward right. Now he's drifting back the other way.
We can see where Boyd ranks in the ACC, first in batting and first in hits.
Yep, that's right.
Second out of the inning on the strikeout. That'll leave it up to McGee with 2 outs and Ramsey at first. Great opening night crowd here at TD Ameritrade. The way they do it here, all the people that were here for the first game had to exit the stadium, and then you let everybody back in, and they only had an hour to get that whole process done. Not easy, but it's been filled back up at this beautiful ballpark in downtown Omaha.
Ball.
It's great coming in when we come in for the second game, and you just see the line out there. You know, it was for the first game, it's already packed, and yet there's a huge line for the second game. And they supported here so well. I mean, I have to tip my hat, and I do that every year, to the people here in Omaha, the way they support this and just make it such a great environment.
Breaking pitch, chopped towards short, long throw for Mejia. And the third out of the inning. The Seminoles get one of the two back as Sherman Johnson goes yard.
And he cuts the lead in half with a great swing that got out in a hurry. We're back in this ball game.
Welcome back to Omaha, Nebraska, where the food is good, so's the baseball. 2-1 Arizona over Florida State. Top of the fourth here at TD Ameritrade. Here's some of the headlines for the College World Series this year. Cinderella stumbled. Stony Brook loses to UCLA in the opening round. In the opening ball game, looked a little tight in the first inning, and it cost them. The championship rematch is tomorrow night, South Carolina against Florida. And 5 College World Series players this year taken in the first round. Mike Zunino, the Florida catcher, leading that parade. College baseball just gets better and better. The draft choices seem to get higher and higher as Major League Baseball recognizes the quality of the sport keeps going up. Bobby Brown struck out his first time. Leads it off here in the fourth. Lee Brown on the corner for a called strike. 0-2. Fifth-year senior takes a curveball. 1-2 to Brown from Lee Brown. We're in the Arizona fourth. The Wildcats leading the Seminoles, who are the number 3 national seed, 2-1. Lee Brandt gets his 4th strikeout. The Nationwide Series returns to Michigan. Points leader Elliott Sadler will take on Austin Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and the rest of NASCAR's best. The NASCAR Nationwide Series at Michigan, Saturday at 3:30 on ABC.
Ball.
Maggi, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Still hitting .331 on the season. Lee Brandt pounding a fastball in there, 1-1. First 2 innings, Lee Brandt in control, but gave up 3 hits in the third, and it cost him 2 runs. There was an error sandwiched in there. Fly ball to center, and Ramsey comes in to make the catch. 2 outs. Let's check in with Jessica Mendoza. Jess?
Well, Mike, just what you were saying. I spoke with Charlie Lee Brown, Brandon's father, before the game, and he said he knows when his son is comfortable when he gets that first batter out each inning. And last inning, led off with a single. That's when a run came around to score. 2 runs later score. But he says when he is feeling good, he leaves the ball down in the zone. He doesn't keep it up, doesn't try to overthrow.
Sounds like the scouting report on Dad, doesn't it?
Wow. Yeah, it does. And dads, they know best. They watch you since you were little. They know when you're going well, when you're going bad. I know for me, that was my best coach. My father, talked to him every single day, even when I was in the big leagues, talking to him all the time. He knew my swing better than anybody.
Ball and a strike to Riley Moore, who singled and scored back in the third. Waits on that breaking pitch and fouls it off. It'll be 1-2 with 2 outs and nobody on to Moore here in the Arizona fourth. They play him to go to the opposite way. James Ramsey in center field. Several steps toward left, and they're not very deep. Two is fouled out of play.
That's scouting report, and that's where Riley Moore hit his base hit. His first at bat, going the opposite way, getting on top of a good pitch.
Another 2-2 from Leibrandt. Just missed. He was headed for the dugout.
He was. He wanted that pitch. He thought he was able to catch that corner right there. That was a really nice pitch. That's what they say is a pitcher's pitch, because as a hitter, you see that and you hope if you do swing at it that maybe you can foul that off. I mean, look at that, just missing that corner.
And that one gets through. Boyd tried to play it off to the side, and the hop got past his glove.
I mean, oftentimes as a pitcher, you think you have him struck out. You think you got him. You make a great pitch. That's the pitch you're really focused on. You want the quality pitch right here, and you think you have it. You're walking off, and then it's called a ball. And then you lose just a little bit of concentration, that little bit, because you're thinking about it just a hair, and that ball was up, just missed the spot, and it creates a base hit.
And how many times as a fan have you seen it happen that you think the umpire's missed a call and you go, uh-oh, I know what's happening on the next pitch. And invariably it does.
Give that extra swing.
That last shot was ruled a base hit past Boyd. If he'd gotten a glove on it, would have eaten him up anyway.
I would hope so. I mean, that ball was smoked.
Yes, it was. 1-1 to the number 9 hitter Trent Gilbert, who sacrificed his first time up.
That's out.
Leibrandt misses there. He would be the very definition of a nibbler. Tries to hit the corner, inside at the knees, outside at the waist. Anything but the heart of the plate.
You call him a nibbler, but you also call him a good pitcher. I mean, able to
it's not
spot his, right?
It's not an insult.
No, exactly. But he just is able to work both sides of the plate, and you can command your fastball and your off-speed pitches as well. I mean, it's not about always overpowering the hitters. It's just getting those hitters mess up with their timing and get an out.
2-2 curveball called, strike 3. 5 for Leibrandt, and this one gets him out of the inning. Beautiful curveball. Couldn't do anything with it. Took it for a called strike. And we'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Arizona continues to lead FSU. Welcome back to Omaha. 2-1, bottom of the 4th. Arizona leading Florida State. ACC's had great baseball over the years, but not much luck at the end. 172 teams have gone to the regionals. They've had 42 top 8 seeds since 1987 alone, 41 College World Series, 5 title games, but only 1 national title. That was back in 1955 when Wake Forest did it. Now, there's one caveat. Miami, which is an ACC member, won it, but they were not in the ACC at the time. And with all these teams switching conferences and leagues, Graphics like that are going to be impossible from now on. This is a line drive to straightaway center. Rickard retreats a few steps and make the catch for the first out of the inning off the bat of Gonzalez.
And it's hard to believe that the ACC doesn't have a title yet with all those great teams in there. I mean, and I see that 5 title games. And I was part of one of those title games, and yeah, we don't have to mention, that we lost.
Well, Mike Martin can't believe it either. I mean, this is his 15th trip. He has had teams that very well could have won the national championship here in Omaha, but for one reason or another haven't done it. He's not going to let that define him, but most people out here would love to see him win a series championship. And this ball hit toward the gap. It's going to get down. Good bare hand stab by Rickard. The throw to second doesn't have a chance, and it's a 1-out double for Josh Delph.
Well, there are 2 great things on this play. One, a good swing and a good hit by Josh Delph, and then a barehanded play out there by Rickard. I mean, we talked about how big these gaps are. That ball gets by him, and Delph is off to the races with an easy triple. Boss, you never know if he was thinking 4 if that gets by him. But Rickard making a nice barehanded play to get that ball back into the infield.
There's an awful lot of room out there. The tying run at second for the DH Holland. And he pulls one just foul. Holland got all 175 pounds into that one.
He did, and this just barely foul. Brings those hands in very nicely, inside fastball. And this is one area, that DH spot, that's been kind of a revolving door for Florida State. And you see Holland getting the call today, a freshman facing the right-hander higher today, but there are times they use Steven Spradling and John Nagowski as well in that DH spot. But today, it's Holland getting the call, and he just missed an extra base hit RBI on that swing.
I don't think Andy Lopez cared for the last 2 line drives that he saw from his starting pitcher. Now the home plate umpire, Darren Seeley, is going to go out and break it up.
You see that 64 pitch count. Andy just came over there to try to calm him down, but he's not. He knows he's not coming out of that game.
Well, he's telling him the limit is 130.
Yeah.
So he told him, you're only at 60.
You're good.
It's a long way.
You're great. I'm just coming out here just to say hi to you.
1 on 1 out for Holland. Hit a fly ball to the left his first time up in this game. Down to first. Good play by Maggi for the second out of the inning. 3 unassisted.
That was a great play by Maggi over there. And we see higher there. Why he's not coming out. I mean, he has 7 complete games this season.
The rest of the staff has 7 more. I mean, it's unheard of in college baseball these days, or anywhere really, to have 14 complete games out of 60-some. It just doesn't happen. Runner at third with 2 out for Jose Brizuela. Driven in 38 runs this year, a 39th. Would get Florida State back into a 2-2 tie.
The fact that these guys go so deep in the game, you know, we heard Andy Lopez talk about possibly because, you know, it's the bullpen, the strength of his bullpen as compared to the strength of his starters. But I think it also helps these starters so much if they continue to go on to play professional baseball after the college ranks.
This one is fisted in foul territory. The third baseman, Mejia's Breen, is over there to make the catch. So a double, but no damage. And when we come back, Jess will talk with the venerable Mike Martin. 2-1 after 4. Let's check in with Jessica Mendoza. She is with Mike Martin.
Well, Coach, some good contact, 5 hits. You had the home run with Sherman Johnson. How do you continue to get runs on the board?
Well, Hire's doing a great job of pitching out of trouble. We've had some good at-bats, but you got to tip your hat to him.
Well, your freshman, Brandon Lebrand, on the mound, probably the biggest game of his young career. What do you think of the freshman so far?
Great poise. He's made some very good pitches. Arizona's a tough lineup. They're a very patient team. Brandon has shown that he can pitch in any environment, and certainly he's having a good outing thus far.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, Brandon Lebrand, we said the key to him is staying down in the zone, and we'll see when he is down in the zone, getting the ground ball out, getting guys to watch and swing over pitches, staying down. But when he's up in the zone, this is when the damage has been done. All high, breaking ball, fastball. They're getting on top of those balls and getting hard base hits. It's amazing the difference between being up and being down can change the whole dynamic of a ball game.
If you do not have overpowering stuff, it's all about location, and that's not the location he wants. Top of the order here in the 5th. Rickard will lead it off, to be followed by Field and Mejia. Rickard 1 for 2 tonight. Singleton scored in the 3rd when the Wildcats got both of their runs.
Ball.
Talked about Florida State being here many times. This is the 16th College World Series for the Wildcats of Arizona. The last came in 2004, and they've won the title 3 times. Long time ago, 76, 80, and 86, but won nonetheless. Off speed, tap foul. This is Linda Lopez, Andy's lovely wife, and we want to be the first to wish her a happy birthday, which is tomorrow. And Andy already has written on a 3x5 card, be sure to wish your wife a happy birthday, because he has forgotten before. He has also forgotten to wish her happy anniversary while he had staff meetings at home and she catered it. These are social skills that after 30 years of marriage, he's still working on.
We got a hit by pitch. You're right. He said it was his first anniversary that he forgot.
Yes.
But he was so excited, had the coaching staff over. She made sandwiches. He's ready to go. And he's like, this is great. I think we're ready. We're going to change the program. It was at Dominguez Hills when he was the head coach there. And he was asking, he's like, you seem a little bit sour. Is something wrong? She's like, no. But she goes, what? Is that all right that I have coaches meeting? Are you going to be okay? I don't mind the coaches meeting. It's just, can you not do it on our anniversary?
Ball, no.
I love that story because it made the rest of us seem attentive.
Yeah. Everybody in their heads thinking, okay, now when's my anniversary? Okay. Do I have to make the call?
Now, Linda's up for sainthood. And Andy is learning. And we will show you a picture in a moment from 1992 that Linda brought to Omaha this year when they won the championship at Pepperdine. Father and son celebrating. And time passes so quickly. He has 2 sons, both on this ball club. They don't play that much. One's an infielder, one's a pitcher. But he said it's amazing. They both got full beards, and here they are.
Their son was 2 years old on that picture.
Really good guy who has been very successful at 3 programs. This one's chopped to short. 6-4, not hit hard enough to get the double play off the bat of Johnny Field.
Well, guys, that was his son Michael giving Andy Lopez a hug, and now it's Michael and David. They were both bat boys when the team was here in 2004, and then obviously both on the team. But it's crazy how much Michael and David say that this experience, being actually a part of Omaha, something their father has talked about since day one. They said it's a state of mind. It's not a city. Omaha has always been a part of our family.
Yes, it has, and that was an exciting time for Andy Lopez and Pepperdine. They had a great ball club that he had put together there.
And I love what he said. It's a state of mind, and that's the word. It's Omaha. It's not College World Series. It's Omaha. That's where you want to be.
Mejia stands in 1-on-1 out. Arizona leading here in the 5th over the Seminoles of Florida State.
Well, we said even he's the third hitter, but he likes to hit and run with him. He likes to do different things. Let's see if he tries to put some pressure on this defense with the speedy Rickard at first.
It's in the dirt. Good block by McGee. You know, this is a program that had only been to the regionals once in 8 years before Andy Lopez took over. And he has taken them to the regional 10 of the last 11 years. And now that they have moved into that different ballpark, they have the ability to host. This ball hit deep down the left field line, hooking foul.
You said they moved into that ballpark, and he gives a lot of credit for the reason why they're here in Omaha, because of being able to host the regional, host a super regional, because they moved it over to High Corbett. And he's so grateful that, you know, that athletic director Greg Burns came to him and said, I think we're going to move. What do you think about playing over at High Corbett? And Andy was beside himself. He's like, are you sure?
You have to tip your hat to the athletic director for doing that. Here are the dimensions. Look at the power outlets, 410 and 405. Now, they wanted to bring the outfield fences in, but they didn't have time because of the move. Now they've decided they don't want to do this. Back up the middle and off the glove of Gonzalez into shallow center. That's going to leave runners at first and third. Gonzalez almost got there, but not quite, and it's a base hit for Mejia.
And this ball was struck hard up the middle. Let's see. I think the umpire might have got in the way there. It screened Gonzalez just a little bit. You see him trying to get out of the way, avoiding this ball. And it just, that's all it takes as an infielder. If you just lose sight of it just for that split second, it could be the difference of making a great play, because if he comes up with that, that's a great play, and it going off your glove.
Now Ref Snyder with 2 on and only 1 out. And of course, it's not the umpire's fault. He's positioned where he needs to be for the play. It just happens to be where the ball's hit.
And oftentimes you would see that play and you see it off the shortstop, because Gonzalez had a beat on that. And it hits off his glove. You say, well, that should have been an error. That's an error. He should have made that play. Scorekeeper obviously recognizing that, well, when you have the umpire moving, it's not, like you said, not his fault, that does factor into the possibility of he missing that ball. I mean, here's another, this is a great angle. So he's got a beat on it. He sees it. Now he loses it right behind the umpire.
I think you're absolutely right.
I mean, hitting, defense, doesn't matter if you're hitting, we know how important it is to see the ball all the way through from the release of the hand, so you try to hit the ball to squaring it up. Well, the same thing with fielding. You want to see the ball all the way into your glove.
Seminoles with action in the bullpen, and Mike Martin coming to the hill. Gage Smith going to be coming into the ball game. And Mike. Welcome back to the College World Series. We're in the top of the 5th. Arizona leading 2-1 and bidding for more. They have chased the starter, Brandon Liebrandt, who went 4 1/3. Gave up 2 runs, 1 of them earned on 6 hits. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 5. The 2 men currently aboard, still his responsibility. And the new pitcher is going to be Gage Smith, Nomar.
Yeah, well, Gage Smith comes at you with a fastball, slider, changeup. He leads the team in appearances this year with 36, but it's because of that sidearm motion. This is why he's in there right now, because Mike Martin recognized this is a big part of wanting to keep this game close. Big inning right here, hoping to get that ground ball because of that sidearm motion, staying down, sinking action, and see if he can get that double play and help Leibrandt and the team get out of this inning.
Mike Martin Jr., the coach's son, said his next door neighbor wanted his son Gage Smith to play baseball, but he really didn't have a lot of hitting or running skills. He saw him pick up a ball and throw it submarine when he was a junior in high school and said, you know, we'll see you do that again. I think you might have something here. And he has now developed into a really good submarine short relief man.
And here we are with Robert Refsnyder. We told you those hitters, those guys in the middle of that lineup, this is the position they want to be in. Once again, men in scoring position.
Refsnyder 1 for 2 tonight. And obviously Smith is very tough on right-handed batters. Seminole infield a double play depth. In 2 games against Stanford in the Super Regional, they had 6 double plays to kill rallies. They need another one here. Fake to third, looking to first. I'm afraid to say that never works because the next thing is
it'll work, right? They look at the batting average, 413. The runners in scoring position, 1 for 2 tonight.
Check swing down to first, off the first baseman's glove, stabbed at second. Now they got a shot at him at third. With a terrific play by Travis, and they throw it away. That should never happen. Nobody should ever get out of a rundown. And all he was trying to do was stay alive long enough to let the runner behind him advance.
I mean, you bring in Gage Smith to get that ground ball, and he gets it, and you at Florida State are going, what? On a check swing, and now we got the rundown, at least to get one out, and we can't come through with that. Gonzalez taking his eye off the ball, trying to tag him before he has the ball in his glove. We've seen Gonzalez already with 2 errors in this game, having a couple of misplays.
2 very rare mistakes. So a check swing single gets a run home to make it 3-1. And still now runners at first and third. And Mike Martin just doesn't want this to get out of hand. It's ruled a single and an RBI, and then an error on Gonzalez to allow the runner to advance to third, his second error of the ballgame. Check in with Jess Mendoza.
Well, Nomar, you mentioned earlier this Arizona offense at High Corbett Field. They focus on hitting the ball low and hard. Well, they also have another philosophy called HOGS, which stands for hard on the ground swings. We've seen all 3 runs score on those hard on the ground balls. That's been their philosophy. That's how they win games, and 3 runs already tonight. They've been very successful with that philosophy.
It's great to see a ball club that buys into that, because so many times we hit one, oh, we want home runs, we want to drive the ball, hit the ball out of the ballpark. And then you go into a ballpark that is so big, but you have those big gaps, and then you have Andy Lopez telling you, listen, we can be successful by hitting that ball on the ground. You don't hear that too often. We hit that ball on the ground, we stay down through the ball, stay up the middle, and we've seen it work so far.
Mejia Spreen 0 for 2. Seminoles looking still for the double play. Arizona has 7 hits tonight, all of them singles.
Hogs, I've never heard that. Hogs. All right, that's a new one. I like it.
Of course, with a huge ballpark and the bat restrictions now, you're not going to hit anything out of High Corbett and Tucson either. So you better buy into the small ball philosophy. 0-2. Just stayed alive, spoiled the curveball.
I mean, we see this offense. We talked about it, a 333 batting average, ranked 4th in NCAA, and the runs per game at 7.5. And they get on base. It seems like they come up to bat with somebody on all the time.
Inside fastball, crushed but foul.
But this is why when you're on third base, you lead off in foul territory. Because of line, you can't get out of the way at times when the guy crushes the ball.
Ooh.
But if it hits you, it's a foul ball. If you happen to be in that line, you're just hoping he's okay. He jumped. He tried to avoid it, but it's coming at you too fast.
Kick save and a beauty.
But you get hit in foul territory, foul ball. If you were standing inside the baseline and it hits you, it's an out.
0-2 to Mejia Spreen. Fastball misses outside.
Staying alive. That was a tough pitch.
That's 2 of those he's spoiled.
That he's just kind of throwing that bat out there, able to fight it off, stay alive. Curious to see, that is that philosophy, hit it hard on the ground. And right here is where I'm actually thinking about hitting the ball in the air. I want that ball in the air. I have a man at third base, less than 2 outs. Try to avoid that double play and try to drive it in the air.
Fastball. Travis Gonzalez to first. A double play, but Arizona adds to its lead. 3 runs and 7 hits. They lead by 2. Andy Lopez will visit with Jess when we come back. 3-1 Arizona as we go to the bottom of the 5th. But first, here's Jessica Mendoza and our coach, Andy Lopez.
Well, Coach, your offensive philosophy has been that low and hard at High Corbett Field. You have 3 runs on ground balls and base hits. How much has that philosophy helped you in the stadium?
Well, it's been what we've had to do, honestly, Jessica. The first 3 weeks at High Corbett, we weren't hitting in that type of mode. This is a little more comfortable for us, but the young man on the mound made it a little bit more difficult. I mean, it's a good program, obviously, Florida State has. So, we're in a good ball game, which is kind of fun. But so far, so good.
Well, speaking of that good program at Florida State, Kurt Heyer is known for going deep into the ball game. At Florida State, very patient hitters. How far do you see your pitcher Heyer going?
Well, we've got a 130 pitch limit on him, so hopefully it's 9. If not, we'll go to that bullpen. But he does a pretty good job of managing the strike zone, so it's a good challenge because they do an outstanding job of managing the strike zone as well.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jess, and thanks to the coaches who've always been so cooperative and free with their time with us out here. Always give us some insight into what's going on in these big ball games. Sherman Johnson will lead it off here in the 5th. He homered his last time up for the Seminoles' only run.
The last time Arizona scored and Florida State needed to get one back, Sherman Johnson led off that inning. He led off with the home run, and here he is once again leading off the inning after Arizona scoring.
Second in the nation in walks with 65. Has a good eye, and that's what Florida State needs right now. They can just use base runners any way you can. They have done such a great job with walks and being hit by pitches this year and turning them into runs. It's been a huge part of their offense. This ball is smoked, but straight at Rickard in center field. Line drive out off the bat of Sherman Johnson.
Sherman Johnson hit that ball well. Once again, Kurt Heyer. Just heard Andy Lopez talk about command of that strike zone. Got a strike, even though he hit it hard, but once again we talked about that pitch limit. You heard it from Andy Lopez, 130. See if that could last the ball game.
He's at 73 right now. That's the kind of pace that'll get him through 9 before he reaches 130 pitches. This is Devin Travis has his average up to 311. He singled in the first, flew out to center in the third. Ball and a strike. Hires walked only one in this ball game and scattered 5 hits. And has a sparkling 12-2 record. This one into right center, tracked down by Refsnyder. 2 gone.
Well, the Euro 2012 continues Saturday at 2:30 on ESPN and ESPN2. On ESPN, Greece takes the field against Russia. And on ESPN2, the Czech Republic meets Poland. Greece-Russia on ESPN and Czech Republic and Poland on ESPN2, Saturday at 2:30. Both games are also available on ESPN3 and Watch ESPN app.
2 outs and nobody on for James Ramsey. You are the soccer expert. So what is the difference between the World Cup and Euro?
Well, the World Cup is obviously the world, all the countries playing against each other. And Euros is just the European countries playing against each other for the Euro Cup. And both of them go every 4 years, but they split them so you can have big games like that every 2 years. So 2 years ago, in 2010, was the World Cup. We'll see it next World Cup in 2014 over there in Brazil. And now you have the Euros right now, and you'll have the next Euros after in 2016. So very exciting.
Anything that we're eligible for that's equivalent to the Euros?
They usually have the Gold Cup, South American Gold Cup. So we're part of obviously South America and that whole thing. There's got the North American, South American, so they have a Gold Cup to try to do that. But the Europeans usually really gets all the publicity because of so many great teams coming out of there.
Swing and a miss. Ramsey fans 1, 2, 3 in the 5th. And it's 3-1 Arizona. The Wildcats bidding to pull an upset here in the opening game against the number 3 Seminoles. Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the NCAA College World Series, presented by Capital One. Here's your game summary with Arizona leading 3-1 after 5. They've had 7 hits. Joey Rickard had an RBI single, as did Robert Refsnyder. Sherman Johnson a solo home run into the bullpen for the Seminoles. And Lee Brandt was knocked out after 4 1/3, gave up 3 runs, 2 of them earned. A couple of big errors by the Seminole defense, something we did not see in the Super Regional, where they were terrific. Bobby Brown will lead it off in the 6th. The senior out of San Diego, California, knocks it down to first. Jace Boyd will take it himself, 1 gone.
I'll tell you, Kurt Heyer did a good job that last inning. I mean, your team gets another run, and your job as a pitcher is to go out there and try to shut them down and get your team back in the dugout and swinging those bats and getting them out 1, 2, 3.
And he did it against the top of the order. And that's a portion of the order that's hurt people all year long. He may have to face them only one more time. 8 fly ball outs for Heyer. Only 2 ground ball outs and 4 strikeouts. Usually you want your pitchers to hit the ball on the ground so the defense can help you. But in this ballpark, it's not bad to be a fly ball pitcher. That's not going to hurt you very much either. Gage Smith on for his 2nd inning of relief for Florida State. Maggi is 0 for 2, a fly out and a strikeout, takes a called strike.
Yeah, Joseph Maggi is actually the 3rd brother in Omaha in the last 4 years. Brother Drew and Bo play for Arizona State. And here he is for the University of Arizona.
It makes for some tough moments at Thanksgiving, doesn't it?
That's what I go, how do you get away with going to the University of Arizona? Your brothers go to Arizona State. Andy Lopez was saying not just that, mother, the father, he was joking, the parakeet, the dog, the mailman, everybody goes to Arizona State. He goes, when they got a call from him and he says, hey, I'm thinking about coming to Arizona, he thought he was kidding. And here he is, like his brothers, playing the College World Series.
Non-conformity can be good sometimes. Obviously, he wanted to chart his own course. Riley Moore with 2 singles to his credit tonight. 2 out, nobody on here in the Arizona 6th.
They say they do let him in the house for Thanksgiving. He just has to eat in a different room. I'm kidding.
Have your turkey roll in the kitchen. Fastball on the outside corner at the knees. 1-2 to Riley Moore.
Ball 10.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Big crowd seemingly sitting on its hands waiting for something to happen. Not a lot of chatter right now. Fastball hit the straightaway center. Ramsey has a beat on it now and takes it over the shoulder for the 3rd out of the inning.
Well, FSU coming up. Do up the big bats. Jace Boyd. Let's see if they can tackle this lead.
It's a rematch of last year's finals. South Carolina will be going for the three-peat here in Omaha as they face the top seed Florida Gators. South Carolina's Mike Roth against Florida's Brian Johnson. Tomorrow night on ESPN at 9 p.m. They're all fighting for that trophy. The defensive change for you for the Wildcats of Arizona. First base, Brandon Dixon, a very good defensive player. High school shortstop has come in for Joseph Maggi. Maggi hit in that last inning. And once they get past the 5th inning, Andy Lopez is looking for defense to protect that lead. And normally the move is taking out Maggi and putting in Brandon Dixon. Seminoles were hit here in the 6th. Jace Boyd will lead it off.
Speaking of other good first basemen in there is Jace Boyd. And he's great around that bag. And right now it's not about being good at first base. It's about getting on base right now and trying to get something started for Florida State.
Boyd with a rare 0 for 2 tonight. Came in hitting .389. Collegiate Baseball named him their 2nd team All-American at first base. He and Ramsey have carried this team offensively. Seminoles the home team for this opening game. Chopped wide of 3rd, and Seth Mejia's green throw, and it pulled Dixon off the bag. Going to be a throwing error on Seth Mejia's Breen.
Well, Mejia's Breen coming up with this ball. We just talked about Dixon over there at first base coming up with a, you put in a stronger first baseman around and it's just too far off. He tried to play this. His foot was on the corner of the bag as it's supposed to be. You can see he might have kept it on just barely, but it's so tough. And the umpire has him coming off the bag.
See if the Seminoles can take advantage. This is the catcher, Stephen McGee, who takes a called strike. McGee is fly to center, grounded to short. Average is down to 241. Mike Martin said they would not be in Omaha if it weren't for this young man and his defensive skills behind the plate. He has done a great job for them this year.
He says we would not be here without Stephen McGee.
And he's seen some pretty good catchers in his years. That caught the corner. Let me just go back to Buster Posey.
I was going to say that. I think there's a guy by the name of Posey that you're talking about.
1 ball, 2 strikes to McGee. Boyd at first, nobody out in the Seminoles 6th. Checking throw to first. Mike Martin Jr., who was an outstanding catcher on the left, his dad on the right.
I think that's.
Oh, that's Coach Bell.
On
the inside corner. Mike Bell, the first-year pitching coach, who has done a great job with 2 freshman starters. That's a big strikeout.
That is a huge strikeout for Heyer there. Coming in, getting the call, making a nice pitch, especially coming off an air. Now it's about getting that ground ball. You get that double play, you can get out of this inning. And so oftentimes you have your fielders as pitcher going, you pick me up, you make a great play. Well, you get an early air, get the leadoff runner. Now sometimes you get to pick up your infielders and make that pitch and get out of it.
Strike call to Gonzalez, 1 for 2 tonight.
Well, we know Gonzalez already having a couple of errors today. One of them factoring into a run. And, you know, now you're going, I got to get that back. I got to try to help our team back. But you don't want to press so much. Right now you got a guy on first base. You want to try to keep this inning going. You want to, you're getting toward the bottom of that lineup. For Florida State, you know how strong the top of that lineup is. You're saying, hey, if we can keep this going at the bottom of the lineup and get our big backs coming up, the guy's on base.
Ball and 2 strikes to Gonzalez. Well, these were 2 of the highest scoring teams you could find in the playoffs, but good pitching, we always hear it, shuts down good hitting, and the good pitching has been there tonight. Got him to chase and struck him out. The 6th strikeout for Heyer, and a big one there, back to back. Look at this, 2 games, 35 runs, only 1, 5 hits, 1 walk. The solo home run is accounted for their only score.
We see all those runs, but look at those walks. They had 21 in 2 games, and a lot of that, obviously, the Stanford pitchers had trouble finding the strike zone, but still, they're a patient team. They work the count, they work the walks, and part of working walks, too, is fouling a lot of balls off.
Sure.
Fouling those tough pitches off, and, give a lot of credit to Kurt Heyer so far, has really kept this offense in check.
That pitch that Gonzalez struck out on, which was about 1.5 feet or 2 feet outside of the strike zone, goes back to your point of being anxious and wanting to make up for what he had done in the field.
And that happens all the time. That's common. I mean, that's not something new. As an infielder, you make a mistake. I know so many times myself, I was like, okay, I got to get that back. I know I cost us a run. I can do it. I got a guy on. I can drive him in. And you get anxious and you try to do too much rather than just let the game come to you. That is nothing new in the game of baseball.
Swing and a miss on a fastball. Josh Delph, who has a double and a strikeout on the night, 1 for 2. Double to right center. Florida State's been limited to 5 base hits. By Kurt Heyer, who has a sparkling 12-2 record on the season. The 12 wins ties him for the national lead. He's already pitched more innings than anybody else in college baseball. It's a fastball high.
taking a breath, gathering himself. Good pitchers do that. He recognized I'm up. I threw that pitch high in the zone. I need to be down in the zone, recognizing that. Okay, let me gather myself. Let me get back into it. I just had 2 really good strikeouts.
Let's go to Jessica Mendoza. Jess, what do you have?
One of the things Kurt Heyer does the night before a game, he every time watches his favorite movie for the love of the game. Why? Because there's a scene where Kevin Costner is on the mound and he clears the mechanism. That's a huge visual that Kurt Heyer right now as he walks that he uses to be able to put himself on the island with that batter.
Love that movie.
That is a great movie, and I know the exact part she's talking about.
Yep.
And I bet you not only does he use that to clear himself, but he also has Alex Mejia in his ear to help him out with that too.
He does.
So he's like, man, I know I'm not alone out here on the hill. I got Alex over there.
Big situation here for John Holland, the left-handed DH, the freshman from Johns Creek, Georgia. He is 0 for 2. The tying runs aboard. Breaking pitch caught the corner.
Well, let's see here if Florida State can capitalize on an error by Mejia's Green.
This will be pitch number 100 for Kurt Heyer, who was on a 130 pitch count. It's fouled back out of play. 0-2 to Holland, who's just trying to get the bat on the ball and hit it hard somewhere. Big at bat for the freshman. In the gap to left center. That gets down. It's going to roll all the way to the warning track. 1 run scores. 2 runs will score. We're tied at 3. How about that for the freshman DH?
Well, Holland coming up big. Here's the ball on the outside part of the play. That's what you're supposed to do with it. You're supposed to go the other way with it, not try to pull it. But we saw where it was up in the zone, and we saw how that's where most of the damage for both of these teams has come from. Balls up in the zone, and he's able to find that gap. Outfielder's able to cut that off. Field does a good job cutting that off. But these alleys are so big that even by cutting them off, the guy from first base can come all the way around to score and tie this ball game up.
They did a great job of getting that ball back in quickly and actually had a legitimate play at the plate. It's got to be the biggest at-bat in the young career of John Holland. Seth Miller is going to come on as a pinch hitter for Brizuela. And now Andy Garcia wants to come out and talk.
We're going to go back to this first play. I mean, this is how the inning started. Mejia's Green has a play, throws the ball, and it seems to pull the first baseman off the bag.
I think it's a good call.
You know, this is how it all started. It was close right here. See it in his glove, but was his foot actually off of that? I mean, talk about instant replay in games, and you want to, I'm a big advocate for it, but I think right there it's so close. You know, I don't know if there's enough evidence. Right there, he has is his foot still on the bag right there?
All right, let's play devil's advocate then. You got instant replay. We've seen 6 of these. You think the throw got there with his foot still on the bag. I think his foot came off. And we've seen it 6 times.
Exactly. Well, that's one part of it. If we have that, it has to be, you know, clear that to overturn the call on the field.
That's
so
correct.
if we're both going, you see one way and I see that, then we leave the call as it stands on the field as an error. So
indisputable video evidence is the term they use in football. And in that case, the call on the field was that he was off the bag. This is Seth Miller, the pinch hitter, and Seth Miller's claim to fame. He has 3 home runs this year, but guess what? They're all grand slams. 12 RBIs with 3 swings of the bat.
speaking of home runs, and we were just talking about instant replay. Instant replay is being used here at the College World Series this year, but only used on home runs to see if there was interference on fan interference on a home run, fair or foul. So it is being used.
Or if it did actually clear the fence and not bounce off of something and go over.
Because last year there was a ball here hit to right field, and it hit over the wall and it bounced back, and they gave him a double. You see that there's a gap between the fence and that the yellow padding wall. Right out there, the ball hit and came back. You can see the space there, and they thought it hit the wall and called it a double. And it was clearly a home run when you reviewed it.
It hit that metal grating, but it was very difficult to see from the infield.
And that was Brian Johnson of Florida that hit that ball. And thanks to him, we finally have some sort of instant replay. I want more of it.
2-2, runner at second. 3 balls and 2 strikes. You can't afford to give good ball clubs extra outs, and that's what each one of these teams has done at one or another points tonight. And they've been burned by it. In the air to left should be an easy play for Johnny Field, and is, but the Seminoles get a huge hit from John Holland, a 2-run double that ties it up. Holland comes through, the Seminoles back in the ball game. Three after 6 here at the College World Series in Omaha, Arizona and Florida State. The Seminoles get 2 in the bottom of the 6th to tie it up. Our coverage of the NCAA College World Series will continue tomorrow on ESPN and ESPN2. Let's take a look at the brackets. UCLA knocks off Stony Brook today. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock, Kent State and Arkansas. Then our game at 9, South Carolina against #1 Florida. The Gamecocks trying to make it a three-peat. The NCAA Baseball College World Series presented by Capital One. Seth Miller has moved into left field for Josh Brizuela. He pinch hit for him to end the bottom of the 6th. Really strong-armed outfielder is Seth Miller. Now we go to the Arizona 7th. Trent Gilbert to lead it off. He is sacrificed and fanned, now hitting .279. After Gilbert, we'll go back to the top of the order with Rickard and then Johnny Field, the scheduled hitters.
I'll tell you, Gilbert laying out some tough pitches. Those are some good pitches by Gage Smith just off the plate, making some quality pitches there, and Gilbert doing an excellent job laying off of them.
Just caught that one off the end of the bat, 3-2. Of course, there are certain things expected out of certain positions in the lineup. If you're the #9 hitter, they want to see you be patient and try to get on base any way you can, don't they?
They do. I mean, he's batting .280 on the season, but .346 on base percentage, and here he is drawing the walk. This is what you did. Doesn't matter if you hit 9th, doesn't matter if you're 3rd or 4th. You're leading off an inning. You're a leadoff hitter. Get on base. It's exactly what he does.
Now it allows Arizona a shot to play the kind of baseball they really like: steal, hit and run, sacrifice. Now sacrifice with virtually anybody. Gilbert has stolen 4 bases in 5 tries this year. And Rickard can handle the bat as the leadoff man. Squares, pushes it toward first, but foul.
That wasn't just your typical sacrifice bunt there. He was trying to bunt for a base hit, trying to, you know, if I can get on with that bunt, and worst case scenario, even if I get out, I at least accomplish something and move the guy into scoring position. See if he tries a square or maybe a hit and run.
Pushes it toward first.
Take.
He's out, but it counts as a sacrifice, and the runner moves into scoring position at second base, does Gilbert.
Well, he gets that bunt down and moves him over. Like you said, it goes down to the sacrifice race. Let's see if he got it. But now watch this ball here. He bunts it over there. Now it's starting to spin and go foul. You know, if Boyd lets that go, now you got him back over at the plate with 2 strikes on him. You know, instead of just taking that out. You know, it was that ball, he still had time to really let that play out because the guy was in front of him to see if that ball stays fair or foul before he has to make a play.
So if you're fielding that ball, do you think about letting it go, give up the out?
I do, because there's a guy getting a score. It's a tight ball game. It's 2 strikes. So you know, here it is. He lays it down. You know that ball's spinning. It hits the grass, and it's getting that. And you see that see the spin of it. See how it's rolling foul, going that way. You think about maybe I let that ball go foul because my pitcher's ahead in the count.
Nice breaking ball to Johnny Field. Well, there's an old axiom: if they're trying to give you an out, take it.
Right, but they're also trying to get that guy in scoring position. That was the whole purpose.
That's right.
Depends on what you believe in, whether you like Moneyball or you don't.
That's why baseball is such a great
Higher
game.
likes For the Love of the Game and not Moneyball as his favorite movie. I like that one better as well.
There aren't a whole lot of movies made about sacrifice bunts.
That they're not. You're right. They didn't mention that in Moneyball either. They also didn't mention Mulder, Zito, or Hudson.
No, they didn't.
No,
did
they didn't. Apparently, they didn't exist, and they were the 3 best.
That was a
pitchers
reasonable
at the time.
factor in that team. 1-1 to Johnny Field with the lead run down at second. Chases one and fouls it down the third baseline. A ball and 2 strikes. This is the heart of the Arizona order here. Field, the number 2 man. Mejia is on deck. He's the 3rd hitter. Thing keep it alive. Ref Snyder would be after him. So this is where they'd like to do their damage here in the top of the 7th. Fastball way outside. Good stab by McGee.
I know we talked about both these offense coming in, the amount of runs they've scored, especially in the postseason, what they're averaging. I mean, 12.2 for Arizona, 10 runs for Florida State. But these guys, they give you quality at bats every time. Doesn't matter if they're scoring a whole lot of runs. They're going to go out there and keep battling every inning.
Field, who was first team all Pac-12, now has a full count against him, 3-2. Another one of these kids with a great academic record. 2nd team Pac-12 all academic. Here's the 3-2. Just missed. Boy, that's a tough pitch to take.
I mean, good pitch, like you said. Tough pitch to take, being so close. And on K-Zone, you see that just catching the corner for a strike, but he's able to get that call. That's a tough pitch to lay off of. But it's a good pitch there. He's down in the zone with that tailing movement and that sidearm action.
Here's Mike Martin. He wants to come out to talk to Gage Smith. Now runners at first and second. You can keep up with all of the NCAA College World Series information and goings-on. Log on to ESPN or make it NCAA.com. It is the official online home for all 89 NCAA championships in this conference. The mound here at a tough spot in the 7th inning. And Darren Seeley, the home plate umpire, is going to go out and break this one up.
See Benincasa over there in the bullpen. That's their closer that they bring in to close out the games. Not just yet. Don't get them up just yet. There's still a ball game, tie ball game here.
Mike Martin with a passing comment or two as he left the field about that, presumably that last pitch, what he thought was a strike. Would have loved to have had that call. Mejia singled his last time up. He is 2 for 3 tonight. Pair of base hits. Also reached on an error. Fastball misses.
Well, if you're Arizona fan, you're going, okay, we tie this ball game up. We got to get that lead back. And if there's a guy you want up, I would want the Pac-12 Player of the Year up there with a runner in scoring position. And they have that right now.
4th round pick in the Major League Draft. Fastball is tapped foul. Gage not an overpowering guy.
Not
his calling card is that submarine delivery.
He relies on that movement and the deception in his delivery.
And you don't see guys like this all that often either. 1-1. Hit down to first. Second out of the inning. Runners get back.
That was a line shot.
Hit it well, but right at Boyd.
This is difficult. When you see that sinking fastball coming in on you as a hitter, you often want to pull that ball because it's coming into you as a right-hander. And Mejia doing a good job not pulling that ball, staying with it, going the other way, and unfortunately wasn't rewarded and hits a line drive right at Boyd.
Looked like Field did a pretty good job trying to screen him as well. That one nearly hit Refsnyder. And a lot of activity in the Seminole bullpen. Scantling, the 6'8" reliever that we saw in the Super Regional, getting loose as well. Just tipped foul. 1-1 to Refsnyder, who is 2 for 3 and has his average up to 358.
Yeah, two RBIs, 2 singles. I mean, he talked about coming into this game. He had a batting average of .411 with runners in scoring position, and already 2 today. So that's going to go up.
Drove in a run in the 3rd, drove in another run in the 5th. Breaking pitch is tapped foul. Gage may have gotten away with one there. That looked like it hung up in the zone pretty well.
But, you know, as a hitter, it's tough because you're expecting that ball to actually go the other way. And also with that spin, it doesn't necessarily break the conventional way of that breaking ball, that slider, and you end up just missing it.
Refsnyder behind now, 1-2. Gage Smith trying to get out of a jam here in the Arizona 7th inning. After his team came back to tie, misses with a fastball at 84. Lee Brand, who started the game, went 4 1/3, is off the hook now. Get a no decision out of this game. Hit slowly towards short. Gonzalez, who's had a tough night in the field, throws him up, throws him out at first base. Ramsey due up when we come back, the All-American center fielder. We go to the bottom of the 7th and a good one. Arizona and Florida State tied at 3. Arizona got 2 in the third, 1 in the fifth. Florida State 1 in the third, and 2 in the bottom of the sixth to tie it up. And they have the top of the order here in the seventh. Sherman Johnson, Devin Travis, and James Ramsey to hit against Kurt Heyer. Strike called. Sherman Johnson provided the only long ball of the ball game. This is the second game of the College World Series. We have had 2 home runs, both of which have been pulled. That's about the only way you get one out of here. Strike 2, breaking pitch caught the inside corner.
Well, if you're Florida State, this is where you do your damage at the top of the lineup.
That's for sure. Heyer misses with the fastball. He is on a pitch count of 130. He has thrown 110 through 7. The bullpen has not been a reliable weapon for Arizona this year, and therefore they go as long as they can with the starters. There's a fastball for called strike 3. Don't know what Sherman Johnson was looking for, but that wasn't it.
And that pitch started off just frozen. And that was a good pitch because it had some movement. You notice that movement starting off in the inside part of the plate, and it goes down and even catches the bottom of the zone.
The 7th strikeout tonight for Heyer. Trying to pitch his 8th complete game, the 7th the most this pitching staff has had in 12 seasons. Hit back up the middle. Gilbert throws him out. 2 gone. And now the All-American James Ramsey, 2nd in the ACC in hitting, 5th in homers, 5th in runs batted in, and an on-base percentage of .519. He was the first-round draft choice of the Cardinals this year, the 23rd overall pick, after being the 22nd round pick of the Twins last year, and is the ACC Player of the Year. He's 1 for 2 with a walk tonight. And he and his teammate Jace Boyd have been in a fight for the batting championship all year long.
Seems like any day, every game, it can change. It's like one has it one day, the next day the other one's leading.
Mary and Craig, both Florida State athletes in their own right, so he has great bloodlines. Now, if you're Ramsey in this situation as a star player, tie ball game in the bottom of the 7th, what are you thinking? I just want to hit something hard, or do you want to jack one?
No, you're thinking about just trying to hit something hard. You're trying to get on base. You're not thinking of a home run. When you're trying to hit home runs, they often don't come. It's the times the home runs come is when you're thinking about, I just want to hit a ball hard. I just want to drive it. I want to hit a nice line drive, and the ball comes.
Three and 0. Ramsey takes a called strike.
See, if you're thinking home run, you're swinging 3.
Yeah.
You know, if you're thinking that, it's like he's just trying to get on base. Has confidence in the guys behind him that can drive him in.
There's a very good batting eye. That's a high fastball. His 2nd walk. And the speedy All-American aboard with 2 outs. Talking to first base coach Matt Matulia. They're going to let Ramsey try to swipe a base here.
Well, you have Heyer, who does a good job holding runners on. He's got a quick move to home plate, almost a slide step.
Riley Moore, the catcher, good, not spectacular as a freshman receiver, still developing his skills behind the plate.
And here's another factor. I mean, you look how deep the outfielders are.
Ooh, aren't they ever?
Right. And we saw earlier how a guy scored from first base on a ball in the gap, and they were able to cut that off. Didn't go all the way to the wall.
Certainly a no doubles defense.
Right. So no doubles, but like we said, we've seen that already. If you get that in the gap, regardless if it doesn't go past them, you can still score from first. So I wonder if that may be a factor why Ramsey may just stay. Let's not have him steal and run ourselves out of this inning, because a ball in the gap can score you.
This one's fouled back out of play off the right side. Heart of this order, 1 of 8 runners aboard, 2 for 14, so they've had some missed opportunities. No balls, 2 strikes to Jace Boyd. The lead run at first. Breaking pitch. Hit hard down to third. The throw across by Seth Mejias-Breen. We have completed 7. Arizona and Florida State tied at 3 here in Omaha. Through 7 full, we're tied at 3. 3-7-1 for Arizona, 3-6-2 for Florida State. We will have a new pitcher for the Seminoles. Hunter Scantling comes out of the pen to relieve Gage Smith, who went 2 2/3, only gave up 1 hit, walked a couple, no runs. Scantling, 14th round pick of the Tigers. Look at this, 6'8", 270, an imposing figure on the mound.
Imposing to say the least, right? Fastball, slider, will throw his slider in any count, has command of that, has a lot of confidence in that pitch.
Both teams have left 7 men aboard tonight. Mejias-Breen, a .361 hitter on the year. 0 for 3 tonight. Last time up, grounded into a double play, and Scantling misses badly with ball 2. Mike Martin on that bullpen phone.
Maybe he saw something in those 2 pitches with Scantling that he didn't like. So calling over, making sure the guys are getting ready in that bullpen, and he tells his catcher to go have a talk with him, give him some time.
Scott Seitz is on your right. Benincasa, the closer who was up before, on the left. He just wants to make sure he's got 2 guys out there depending on the situation. Two balls, no strikes. 3-0. One thing you can't have out of the bullpen is some guy comes in and starts walking people. Scantling expected to do better than that. Just caught the inside corner.
I think he was given a pitch on that one. That was a 3-0, maybe a 3-0. Pull the trigger. Well, here we go. Well, that catches the corner. There's a good call. It catches just the top of the zone.
Ever so slightly. Smoked to center, but Ramsey is there for the first out. So he fell behind 3-0, came back to get him.
I mean, that's how, sometimes even that call, that was a close one, and he gets the call. He didn't hit the glove, but you saw it catch the zone, and it settles him down, and he's able to come back with the next pitch and get him out.
Never seems to fail, does it? Bobby Brown takes an off-speed breaking pitch at 76 miles an hour for a called strike. Brown has had a tough night, a couple of strikeouts, and a ground out to third. This one's in the air on the infield. Travis, the second baseman, for the second out.
I mean, it's amazing how that one pitch looked like those first 3 pitches. Hunter Scantling was having a tough time finding the strike zone. I mean, we saw McGee even go out there. We saw Mike Martin get on the phone real quick, and he gets that 3-0 pitch called strike. That was a close one, and it settles him down, and he makes 2 quality pitches on the next batter.
Breaking pitch on the corner. Brandon Dixon to hit for the first time. He came on defensively. Crawford is up for Arizona. Fastball that misses. Dixon out of Marietta, California. It's the one problem going with defensive substitutions. The other team comes back and ties it up. You'd love to have your offensive guy still in there. But those are choices you make. Fly ball right center field. A slight collision. Delph holds on as Ramsey banged into him. That was a disaster waiting to happen.
The NCAA College World Series is presented by the Capital One Cup, recognizing the best of the best in college sports, and in part by Schick Hydro Power Select. Free your skin.
Back at the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. And we're tied at 3 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. This is Kurt Heyer. He has thrown 121 pitches, and they told us he is on a 130 pitch count. He has thrown 7 complete games this year, and if they hold to the 130, it's highly unlikely that he will get through a complete game in this situation.
That's why they have somebody warming up in the bullpen for that reason.
McGee, Gonzalez, and Delph are the scheduled hitters. McGee is 0 for 3 tonight. Breaking pitch, line to left, and Field is right there. Smoked it, but hit it in the wrong place. Nothing more frustrating for a hitter than to hit the ball right on the nose and at somebody.
That's when you're just telling yourself, I don't want to change a thing. I mean, what can you do? Right on the screws.
You'd love to have another at bat right away. And of course, you will get the bloop off the end of the bat that falls in. They never seem to even out, do they?
They don't. They always say, oh, they even out. No, they don't.
Gonzalez chases a high fastball. And it's 1-1. Really been impressed by Heyer.
Really has done a tremendous job. He's obviously kept them in this ball game. Early error that led off the inning led to a couple runs in the 6th. And when you have a guy like this on that pitch count, that errors also factor in, because now he has to throw more pitches. He ended up having to, in that 1 inning. I mean, had that not happened, he would have been out of it and possibly, could have gone into the 9th.
Couldn't get him to chase. It's 2-2. Foul tipped into the glove of the catcher, Riley Moore, for a strikeout. 2 gone quickly here in the 8th.
Well, climbs the ladder and gets him swinging. So tough to lay off those pitches as a hitter. You see a fastball, when the ball's up in the zone, it's closer to your eyes, so the ball looks bigger, and you think you can hit that pitch. It's very difficult to get on top of it, and you end up swinging right underneath it. can't tell you how many times my dad would tell me to lay off the high ones, and I said, it looks so big, I can't. But inevitable, you end up swinging and missing at it.
This is a remarkable number for Heyer. When he pitched against St. John's, he went 9 1/3, gave up 17 base hits, all singles in 9 1/3. And that's it. He's done it 128. And true to his word, Andy Lopez comes out and gets his starter. Tyler Crawford will come out of the pen. And what a job by Heyer. We'll check out Crawford's numbers when we come back to Omaha. And Kurt Heyer should get a nice hand. He deserves it. (3-3) Kurt Heyer out of the ball game, and he was good, Nomar.
He was mixing up his pitches. And if you see, we're going to have a look, and nothing is straight coming out of his hand. He's got a good sharp breaking ball that goes down in the zone. His fastball, even if it was up, you can see the tail movement, then can come back with the breaking ball, keeping guys off balance. Those things aren't down the middle. They're either on the inner half or the outer half, getting guys to swing, staying down in the zone at times, and then he can go up, climb the ladder, get your eyes big, and have you swinging at it. I mean, tremendous night. See that 7 2/3 innings pitch with 6 hits, 3 runs, but just 1 earned. That 1 error back in the 6th cost him, but he's keeping his team in this ball game and giving him a chance to pull it out.
Struck out 8, walked only 3, is the nation's leader in innings pitched. He's not going to get the win in this situation, and Tyler Crawford comes on out of the pen, a 3-pitch pitcher. 84, 85 mile an hour fastball, and ERA of 3.09 this year. He'll face Delph, who walked his last time up, also has a double and a strikeout on the night. Delph showed bunt, but the pitch was low and outside. If he gets aboard, the guy who had the biggest hit of the ball game, John Holland, would be next. Yeah. Unless they decide to go with a right-hander as a pinch hitter. There's Holland. He doubled back in the 6th to drive in a pair that tied it. That's low. Two balls and a strike to Josh Delph. Chopped toward second. Easy play for Trent Gilbert. The Seminoles gone in the 8th. We're tied at 3 going to the 9th inning. We go to the 9th inning, 3-3 Arizona FSU. Here in game 2 of the College World Series. Let's check our game summary. A solid base hit up the middle by Reef Snyder for Arizona that gave them a 2-0 lead. Sherman Johnson came back for Florida State with a solo home run to cut it to 2-1. Then after Arizona went up 3-1, John Holland, the DH, with the big hit of the ballgame, a 2-run double to the gap in left center that tied it at 3. And that's where we are right now. Hunter Scantling working his 2nd inning in relief to the bottom part of the Arizona order. Riley Moore to lead it off. He has a couple of singles and his batting average approaching the 300 mark. Say he went, called by the home plate umpire. and elicit some.
Yeah, as hitter, you're always wondering, just ask down to first base. That's all we want, just or third base, whoever it is. Just ask the umpire if I win.
And he made the call on his own. That one's outside. 2 balls and a strike. Moore singled in the third, singled in the fourth. Flied to straightaway center field in the sixth. Here he is leading off the ninth, ahead in the count 2-1, breaking pitch 2-2. Scantling doesn't throw nearly as hard as that big body would lead you to believe.
You would think he's going to come at you at like 98, 99.
Hit back up the middle and through past Travis. A base hit to lead off the ninth, and Riley Moore 3 for 4.
Riley Moore having a good day at the plate. Taking the philosophy that we thought the Hogs, hitting it hard on the ground. That's exactly what he did. And this is what you want to do. You want to get your leadoff guy in the inning on base to try to make something happen.
Now you get a chance to have your number 9 hitter sacrifice and get the lead run over to second, and Mike Martin on the phone again.
It's tough to be able to put on a hit and run with a Scantling. It's not like he was just been throwing strikes since he's been out there. He's made some great pitches. He's made some good strikes. We saw them early where he was getting the guy behind in the count 3-0. Then he throws 5 strikes in a row. So you can't, and he's got the slider. So it's not like you say, well, I can just put on the hit and run because this guy's around the plate. So you might think about more of a sacrifice bunt here.
Arizona has been very good in its last at bat. They have won 8 times. They have come from behind 22 times. So they're used to late inning heroics. Now you've got Trent Gilbert at the plate. He has already sacrificed in this ball game.
And he's also one, speaking of coming back from behind, he came up with the game-winning hit in the bottom of the 10th versus St. John's in their first game in the Super Regional.
And Mike Martin wants to make a change here. Coming out to talk to Hunter Scantling.
And here's that single that won the game against St. John's.
What a feeling for your number 9 hitter to come through in the clutch like that to win a ball game. And this is Benincasa, the closer, who will come on for Florida State. Takes a deep breath as he approaches the mound, and Andy Lopez using the time to talk to his kids. Scantling leaves with a runner at first and nobody out here in the ninth.
You see Benincasa coming in at 6'2", 195. He is the closer. He's also a candidate for National Stopper of the Year this year. He's a 7th round pick for the Nationals. And he has 15 saves for the year and has a 1.29 ERA. He also, you're going, okay, he's a right-hander. You see what he's done for the season, the 1.25 ERA. But he's also very athletic. He's got a quick move over to first base. He's got good feet. So look for him, even if they do square around, he's going to be able to bounce off that mound. See if he can try to get that lead guy at second if they do lay down the bunt. And also with his good move to first, very difficult to think about stealing off him as well.
This is the second game of opening day here at the College World Series. Earlier this afternoon in this bracket, UCLA knocked off Stony Brook. UCLA, the second national seed in bracket 2 tomorrow. Kent State against Arkansas. That's a 5 p.m. Eastern start. And then the rematch of last year's championship series, South Carolina against the top seed Florida. The Gamecocks trying to make it 3 straight national championships here in Omaha.
And the winner of today will take on the UCLA, the winner of game 1, and the loser plays that elimination game against Stony Brook.
There's Scantling getting a congratulations from Mike Martin. Higher in the other dugout getting the same. Another extended outing for him, and now it's up to the relief pitchers.
I tell you, for Florida State, I mean, Lee Brandt did a solid job today, factored in a no decision, but Gage Smith coming in, filling in very well.
Yeah.
Hunter Scantley coming in and did a solid job as well.
You would have to think advantage bullpen for Florida State. They have put up better numbers this year than their Arizona counterparts. But Benincasa comes in with a runner at first and nobody out here in the ninth. Trent Gilbert fouls the bunt attempt. Gilbert looking down to Matt Siegel, the third base coach. Now is not the time to miss a sign. Already squared around and takes a called strike. Now do you leave the bunt on 0-2? He came in hitting 280.
These guys sacrifice bunt an awful lot. If you have confidence that they can get it down, yeah, you can keep it on. I mean, you're trying to get him over in scoring position. And that's why the Florida State third baseman is still in.
Sherman Johnson in on the grass and coming closer, and he did square around. So if you see that and you're Benincasa, does it change your approach on what pitch you want to throw? High fastball as opposed to something else? Maybe get him to foul it off?
Yeah, definitely. You're trying to, you have a pitch in mind, and you're trying to throw that pitch to the glove, making a quality pitch.
Got it down, got a shot at him at second. They'll go that way and get the force. Good job by Sherman Johnson, very confidently fielding that ball and throwing to second for the force.
Well, you see how far in he is, because you know that he's going to be laying it down. You don't have to worry about him swinging that bat. You know he's trying to, and that's because of missing those first two. He wants to make sure he puts that ball fair, and he was on top of that ball in a hurry, and in his mind he already knew, I'm going to second to get the lead runner, and he does.
It was a really good bunt, just not quite good enough considering the defense. Now back to the top of the order. Rickard, the starting center fielder, with a runner at first, now one out.
He said it was a good bunt. The problem was, if it was because he had two strikes, it allowed the guy to crash in and get a great jump on that ball.
Got him to chase, and that ball will go to the screen. That works just as well as the sacrifice, and Gilbert is down at second.
Unfortunate for Florida State. You do an excellent job on fielding that bunt play and getting the lead runner at second base.
Boy, and that's a ball McGee will tell you he needs to stop.
That is. I mean, it didn't go down in the dirt. It goes off the edge of his glove.
It's a pass ball on Stephen McGee, and now a runner in scoring position at second for Rickard. Breaking pitch on the corner, called strike three. Big pitch by Benincasa. Rickard didn't like the call.
Didn't like the call, but look at this sharp breaking ball, and you can see why he didn't like the call. That was on the outer half. This is a good angle of it, and you can see how far out that ball was. I think Benincasa was given one there.
I think he caught a break. Now it's up to Johnny Field.
I kind of thought that was a better pitch than the pitch that last one.
I did too. One ball, no strikes to Field, who walked his last time up. Looking for his first hit of the College World Series. Back through the box, the shortstop Gonzalez. Out. Off balance, made the throw and got him. So Florida State gets out of a jam in the ninth. They'll have a chance to win it in the home half of inning number 9. (3-3) as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Arizona and Florida State. Nomar?
Well, the Euro 2012 continues Saturday at 2:30 on ESPN and ESPN2. On ESPN2, Greece takes the field against Russia. And on ESPN, the Czech Republic meets Poland. Greece, Russia on ESPN2, and Czech Republic, Poland on ESPN. Saturday at 2:30. Both games are also available on ESPN3 and Watch ESPN app. See, and I know you asked me the question about Euros in America.
I did.
You know, it's the CONCACAF Gold Cup. There used to be the Sudamerica Copa de Oro, which is the South American Gold Cup. Exactly. South American Gold Cup. I got them both. I knew both of those mixed up in my head. I know the United States aren't in South America. I knew that, but I got them both in my head.
Okay.
So it's a CONCACAF Gold Cup that the United States play in.
John Holland, the DH, leads it off. Hops this one foul. Is not going to be a play. 1-1. Holland has the big blow in this game for Florida State. A 2-run double in the 6th that tied it. He's facing the left-hander Tyler Crawford here in the 9th. We talked about Arizona being really good at coming from behind. Florida State has their own heroics to brag about. 18 times when they have trailed during a game, they have come from behind to win. Boy, does that kind of thing build confidence. Fastball for a called strike, 2-2. Seth Miller is on deck, and then it would be back to the top of the order for Sherman Johnson here in the Florida State 9th. On the infield. Mejia will make the catch.
Wow. It looked like a tough play there, and it looked like it was playing some games on the infielders.
Well, Arizona came in with 12.2 runs a game in the NCAA tournament. Florida State came in with 10 runs a game in the NCAA tournament. They've been shut down tonight. The Seminoles, 20 previous appearances without a championship title. 3 of the last 31 champions lost the first game here at the College World Series. That's not what the book says is the right way to do it. You're supposed to sweep right through, not lose the first one, and then have to fight back. That guy deserves some credit for a great night. Kurt Heyer, through 128 pitches, kept his ball club in the game. Chopped down toward first, and Dixon will take it himself. 2 outs. Any more heroics in the bat of Sherman Johnson? You go back to the 3rd. He put one in the bullpen.
And we talked about this. I mean, the bottom of the lineup has helped out this Florida State, but Mike Martin talked about they really count on the top of their lineup to produce those runs. And look at the last walk-off home run, Connor Rowe of Texas, back in '09 versus Arizona State.
Breaking pitch drops low. Sherman Johnson now hitting .274. He's shown you some long ball power here in the postseason. This one skied to shallow left. Mejia back on the grass, coming in field, and he'll make the catch. The Seminoles go 3 up, 3 down in the 9th. Alex Mejia due up in the Arizona 10th. We're tied at 3. Free baseball as we go to extra innings. 10th inning at the College World Series here in Omaha. Coming up after the game on SportsCenter. John Anderson and Andy North will be along to update you On the great play in the U.S. Open, Tigers tied for the lead. Only 3 players under par at the halfway point at Olympic. The top 2 players in the world missed the cut. I think the most fascinating thing about that, you had a 14-year-old from China who was playing in the U.S. Open, just remarkable. And a high school junior at one point had the lead today. I think I played my first round of golf as a high school junior, let alone leading the U.S. Open.
Oh, these are the guys I don't want to play with. They're like, hey, you want to go around? No, because I'll be over here in the woods chasing my balls. You just go ahead, play through while you're hitting it in the fairway.
Our national championship will continue over the weekend. Of course, the College World Series will continue over the weekend. We'll be here to bring you everything. And now we go to the 9th with Benincasa, the closer, still on in relief, and he's pitching to Alex Mejia, Robert Refsnyder, and Seth Mejias-Breen, the 3-4-5 men in this Arizona Wildcat order. Deep to left, but not deep enough. Just shy of the track. The catch made by Seth Miller, one gone.
I think that might be an example of how these bats have made a difference in this college game. Because that ball off the bat looked like it might have a chance, and it just kind of hung up there, and it really has changed the game.
I think it's made it baseball again. I really like it.
You're not seeing those 20 to 21 run games. I mean, they can happen. I mean, that happens in the big leagues too. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, not just because of the bat, but the bats have been a factor in changing the style of college baseball.
Refsnyder to right, and Delph retreats toward the track. A couple of reasonably well hit balls against Benincasa, but 2 outs. Seth Mejias-Breen will stand in with 2 men out and nobody on for Arizona. You're really doing the closer a favor if you're going after the first or second pitch. You might want to try to get his pitch count up a little bit. Another one to Delph, because after a quick inning like that, only 4 pitches. If there is another inning, he's going to be back to pitching. The heart of the order coming up for Florida State. Three as we go to the bottom of the 10th. Florida State trying to win it here in a really good ball game with Arizona. Earlier today, UCLA 5 runs in the first. Bo Amaral with a single. Jeff Jelilich 2 RBIs. Kevin Kramer comes through with a single that hit the third base bag. And great pitching. Plutko, the starter for UCLA, gets the victory. They win it 9-1 and put a dent in Cinderella's storybook. UCLA in the winners division in this part of the bracket. Tomorrow, Kent State, Arkansas, South Carolina, Florida, a rematch of last year's championship series. Now the Florida State fans here trying to get something going in the 10th. And Devin Travis will lead it off.
Once again, Devin Travis coming in here. He's one of those guys that gets on base for you, draws a walk, and do a lot of different things. And leading off the inning, whatever it takes, maybe square around the bunt, something, just get on base.
Good fastball, called strike 2. And Tyler Crawford has been very effective coming out of the bullpen. Fastball hit through the hole into left for a base hit. And that'll bring up the All-American Ramsey with a winning run aboard.
Devin Travis, here's a ball that's on the outside, and you see that catch in the outside corner. And good job by Devin Travis reaching out. Doesn't square that ball up perfectly, but definitely gets enough, and it finds a hole for a base hit.
Now Ramsey, a guy who flirted with a 400 batting average this year. He's an All-American. He's their leading power guy. He's willing to lay it down if it means winning a ball game. He would have no problem with that if that's what Mike Martin chooses to do.
I mean, he's such a team player. Even though he's batting in that 3-hole, even though he has the power to take it over the wall, drive it in the gaps, he's not afraid to put that bunt down. She tries to win the game in any way possible.
But if you're Mike Martin, are you thinking this is the guy
right?
that can
That's
end
a tough
it?
call. If you're Mike Martin, that's a tough call. Going, do I do that? I mean, you're really thinking about how Stephen McGee is swinging that bat, because if he lays one down and gets it done, he can always pitch around Jace Boyd,
right?
Because you know that guy is as good as they come, hitting behind Ramsey. And then you're going, okay, they'll be pitching to Stephen McGee. So that's what you have to factor in. And Stephen McGee has 2 strikeouts and a base hit tonight.
And how cool is Ramsey with the ability to smile in this kind of a situation with that, instead of being at the plate and just grinding your teeth, he's enjoying this. That's a special kid right there. Now the thinking might be, you want to pitch around both of them, although I don't think with a runner at first you'd take a chance on putting the winning run down at second and then face Boyd in that situation.
See right there, he threw over. They wanted to see if Ramsey would kind of tell if he was squaring around. Looked like he was going to square around just a bit there, so that's why they threw over.
Andy Lopez setting his defense.
I'm saying, see him telling his infielders to watch his hands. Watch to see if he's separating, thinking about scoring around, or if he's going to swing that bat.
Big hole on the right side if he can pull a ball through. Breaking pitch misses. One of the good things about the way Ramsey hits, he usually tries to hit the ball where it's pitched. So if you pitch him outside, he's not likely to try to yank it. We've already seen him go to left field.
Now look where the infielders end up. I mean, they are crashing, expecting that bunt. And as an infielder, he doesn't square around. You're like, oh, I'm glad he took that pitch.
Also, when you've got everybody else moving, if he hits the ball on the ground, it just makes it that much more tough to field. There's a fastball that's low. Ramsey ahead, 2-0. Be a little more selective. That's Jace Boyd, the cleanup man, on deck. And now Andy Lopez wants to come out and talk to Crawford. Now I think Andy Lopez, I don't think this is about pitching. I think this is about defense. You know, how do we want to do this? I want everybody on the same page, because I don't want somebody crashing from first and not from third. I don't want somebody moving in the hole at short.
Right, and he's also letting you know what, because sometimes you look to your manager and say, okay, what runner's important to you? You know you want to get the lead runner, but is that, or are you saying, you know what, if we focus on that too much as a team, we may not throw that strike. Maybe let's just take the out if he's willing to give it to us, and we'll get the next guy and we pitch around him. I mean, these are the things that he's trying to make sure everybody is thinking the same way.
Love to see great coaches compete against each other, and these two guys deserve that characterization. 2-0, inside corner, called strike one, 2-1 to Ramsey. Travis with pretty good speed at first. He represents the winning run. It's 3-3 in the 10th. Arizona had the lead.
Ooh, good pitch.
What a curve.
That froze Ramsey on that pitch.
That was a 65-mile-an-hour hook.
This pitch again just freezes him.
Oh.
He recognizes that. We just showed right before that pitch, you know, there's a big hole over there to the right side. And that's the ball you can usually pull over there, but it froze you. I mean, that was a big looping curveball.
Crawford's come back from 2-0 to make it 2-2 on one of the best hitters in the game. Another breaking pitch, got him to chase and struck him out. Whoa, what a job by Crawford.
That was a big pitch. That was a big at bat and a big pitch right there by Crawford. What set that up was the pitch before to get Ramsey frozen on the pitch to take it for a strike. And now Ramsey's looking for that same pitch. He knew he took it. He's like, is this going to catch the bottom of the plate again? I got to protect myself. And you find yourself, that ball just keeps going down, down, and down, and you swing right over it.
Now Andy Lopez wants the right against right matchup with Jace Boyd coming to the plate. He's going to make a pitching change and go to Matthew Troop. Ramsey would like to have those last couple of pitches back. Coming up next, SportsCenter, presented by IBM at the U.S. Open. And over on ESPNU, we will continue with our post-game coverage. That's coming up on ESPNU when we're finished here. Ramsey wanted to finish it right there, but Crawford had other ideas. Troop is the third pitcher following Heyer and Crawford in this ball game, and he's a freshman out of Northridge.
He's often used as their closer. He was the team closer first half of the season. He leaves the relievers with 39 Ks in 32 and a third innings. So this is a tough call for Andy Lopez going, do I go to Troop now if I'm going to use him today as my closer, if that's one of the thoughts, because oftentimes you wait because you are the visiting team. Your team has the lead before you bring him in, but in this situation, I mean, he have to go everybody to see if he can continue this game, and can't give it up in this inning.
The bullpen has not been their strong suit this year, but they have performed very well so far in this game. Got to hand it to them in a pressure situation, and right now Troop is on to try to extend this ball game to the 11th. Mike Martin has been in so many close games out here, and so many games that have had bizarre endings that found the Seminoles on the short end of the stick. I think he would rather stick to the conventional stuff from now on in his bid to win a first College World Series title. And it has been a brilliant career. His 33rd year, one of 3 guys to win more than 1,700 games. 15th College World Series appearance. He's been there for 23 years. And we told you the other day that at the Super Regional that he was one of 10 coaches to coach and play at the College World Series. He didn't get to play. He was on the roster, but he broke his arm in the final game before they got to Omaha. So he was the first base coach as a player.
And that's what he said. He goes, yeah, I was a great first base coach, though.
Runner goes, swing and a miss, the throw down, and he is out. And on the money throw, cuts down the potential winning run. Riley Moore nails it.
You see Jace Boyd, the way he went after that ball. I don't know if it was supposed to be a hit and run there, the way he swung at that. But either way, if it was, Riley Moore coming up huge with a big throw to second base.
2 outs and nobody on. And now Boyd, if the Seminoles are going to do anything, is going to have to get it started again by himself. 0 for 4 tonight. Was on board once on an error and scored. Boy, and that has to take the wind out of the Seminole sails in a hurry. And that had to be a hit and run with that hack by Boyd.
Yeah, the way he swung at that, just going after that.
2 balls and a strike. Travis had stolen 7 out of 8 bases this year. Boyd skies this down the right field line, foul territory.
There's a lot of foul territory here.
Isn't there?
There is. And there's a long run, but just out of the reach going into foul ground. That's one of the things as a hitter, when you come to a new field, you check it out, you're like, man, there's a lot of foul territory.
Let's get the feeling it's probably in a 3-game series, it's going to cost you an out somewhere along the way. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Boyd. Well, Riley Moore, the catcher, solid as a freshman, still developing his skills, made the biggest play of his young career there. Back to the mound, knocked down. This is going to be an easy play at first. The Seminoles threaten, but a caught stealing wipes out the threat. Biggest defensive play of the game, Riley Moore with the throw down. The runner is out. The game goes on. We are in the 11th inning of a really good ball game between Arizona and Florida State. Hope you've enjoyed the action. It's been a pleasure bringing it to you. Arizona allowed 2 unearned runs in the 6th that tied this game up. Ref Snyder has come up big twice with RBI singles. Sherman Johnson, the only home run of the game, a solo shot. Runners in scoring position, Arizona hitting .300, Florida State hitting .160. She's still got a little energy. Eyes are open.
But she looks really comfortable, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. Benincasa has done a whale of a job coming out of the Florida State bullpen. He's retired 6 straight. He's thrown only 10 pitches. At this rate, he could go another 5-6 innings. Bobby Brown will lead it off. San Diego, tough night, 0 for 4, a couple of Ks.
I think we see that often in the college game, that the closers go more than just 1 inning. They just don't come in and close the door.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a bullpen that's set up that way, but oftentimes you don't have that depth in the bullpen, so there are times when they have to go more. They go 1, 2 to 3 innings.
Not quite as specialized. Called strike 1 and 2. Brown, Dixon, and Moore, the scheduled hitters for the Wildcats here in the 11th. Took something off and struck him out.
And then here's that pitch again. I mean, look at that changeup, that ball coming. It looks like a fastball right out of his hand. It's a different speed. You can see the spin on that, but it looks like his normal fastball, and the ball just bottoms out.
Benincasa survived a shot to the face earlier this year. Said he had a huge mouse on a line drive that caught him on the under the right eye, and there's the bullpen comparison tonight, and you see 6 innings, only 2 hits by the Seminoles right now, as their starter went only 4 1/3. You always worry about a guy who gets hit. You wonder how you're going to react as a pitcher after you get drilled by a line drive. Benincasa said for some reason it didn't seem to affect him. Said the worst thing about it was nothing was broken, so they told him he had to go to class the next day. They said if you don't have a broken bone, you have to show up in class. He said he had a huge mouse on his face, and everybody was asking what happened to him. And of course he said you should have seen the other guy.
I just laughed. The worst part of it was I had to go to class. Really? That was the worst part.
Something tells me right after he got hit, he wasn't thinking that way.
Look at this. Once again, that breaking ball. I mean, his off-speed pitches have been so effective, and what's also made him so effective is the command of his fastball. You know he's going to come at you with the fastball. You're looking fastball, and you're trying to adjust to these breaking balls, but there's so much movement on them, and you get a lot of swing and misses.
He's retired 8 straight and thrown only 18 pitches in the process. Now Riley Moore, who is 3 for 4 and has raised his average above the 300 mark. Boy, Benincasa is sharp.
I mean, he's pounding that strike zone. If you're wondering why you, as a hitter, how you swing and miss at those pitches, well, you know he's around the strike zone. He's not wild.
Whoa. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs, nobody on in the Arizona 11th inning. We're tied at 3. Breaking pitch caught the corner.
And what do you do as a hitter when he's throwing fastballs for strikes, sliders for strikes, changeups for strikes?
Two and 2. Benincasa against Moore. Struck him out. He strikes out the side here in the 11th. And Benincasa has certainly done his job. The closer for Florida State coming out of the pen and mowing him down.
Anae Schroff in studio with Mike Rooney. Complete post-game coverage on ESPNU after the game. Mike, the longer this game goes, who does it favor?
Advantage Seminoles. They've got the deeper, more trusted bullpen.
All right, we'll be back after the game. Now back to Omaha and Mike Patrick.
Nish, thanks very much. We'll go to the bottom of the 11th. And the Seminoles may have had their best chance to win this in the bottom of the 10th with their heart of their order up. Now they have to get it done with another part of the lineup. McGee, Gonzalez, and Delph, the scheduled hitters. And they'll be facing Matthew Troop. Got to think in extra inning games, it's always such a huge advantage for the home team. But both of these clubs have been pretty good in close games.
Well, they always say, well, you want the home team, home field advantage, and being on the home team because you get that last at bat. Because you know if you can hold in a tight ball game like that, you can hold them no runs, that you could try to get that walk off.
And Benincasa has done that. A ball and a strike to Stephen McGee, the sophomore catcher. McGee just can't get him out of the ball game. 548 innings caught this year at a 5.71 1/3. Said he works so hard to keep his body in shape, and you can imagine how hard he'd have to work catching that many innings. A ball and 2 strikes.
I still laugh at what Mike Martin said. You know, why don't you give him a break? He says, when I tell him to take him out, he says he doesn't want to come out, and he's so big. I'm going to listen to him.
Mike Martin's is great to talk with about baseball or anything else. Just a charming guy. Swing and a miss on an outside fastball. And a chance to talk with Jessica Mendoza. Jess.
Well, hey guys, I'm still here in Florida State's dugout. Their energy, and they've been so loud all game long, but I'll tell you what, James Ramsey striking out that last inning and Devin Travis getting thrown out at second changed everything. As soon as Ramsey came back into the dugout, every player was just staring at him to see his reaction. You can tell it just affected them. And Nomar, when you got 2 of your best players that get stopped like that, how does that affect the team's morale?
Well, that's where you, all year long, you're counting on those guys, and they not just count on, they come through, and you always see them coming through every game. And when you're like, all right, when you see that, you're going, well, they didn't do it. Are we okay? Are we still going to be in this? But I think what's helped them a lot is the fact that Ben Incasa has been shutting down this Arizona lineup. So you got to find a way right now to dig deep. And, you know, it's been a long game, but you know, it is the fact that you are the home team. You get the last at bat, that you can try to get something going as best you can.
And Ramsey has done a great job this year as a leader in keeping everybody else pumped up. This is a curveball that's ripped into right for a base hit. Refsnyder gets it back in. The winning run aboard again.
Well, Justin Gonzalez, here's that pitch, ball up in the zone, breaking ball up in the zone, and he stays with it. Stays with it. You can see his head down on the ball and hitting it the other way. And you can see Ramsey, much as he's down on himself from his last at bat, you see him still on that top step, cheering on his teammates. And likes the effort and result right there by Gonzalez.
Now Delph, who doesn't have a lot of power, has not homered this year, has doubled tonight. Strike called. Gonzalez is their best base stealer. He's down at first. He's stolen 13 bases, been caught only twice. Runners on base, the 3, 4, 5 hitters have really failed tonight for Florida State. Gonzalez with a good lead. Fastball for a called strike. 0-2 to Delph.
Matthew Choop has really made some big pitches when he needed. Hitting that strike zone. And
when he's missed by a mile.
John Holland on deck. He's the one who came up with that big 2 RBI double that tied this ball game up.
Checking throw. Gonzalez is back. How much does it influence your decision that Riley Moore threw out the last guy that tried to steal?
Oh, it's definitely playing in your head. You're knowing, especially how quick and threw that ball on the money, picked them off.
They got him that time, had him leaning, and the quick snap throw. Gonzalez is gone. critical mistake for the Seminoles. The winning run aboard.
And he knew it. I mean, he caught leaning, can't get back there.
What a helpless feeling.
First baseman is just waiting for you.
Rugged night for Gonzalez. Picked off after making 2 errors in the field. And now Delft chases a high fastball and fans. Defense for Arizona. Gets him out of a jam here in the 11th. We will go to the 12th.
Well, here we are in the top of the 12th inning. 3-3 score, Arizona and Florida State. But tomorrow at Omaha, in a rematch of last year's final, South Carolina going for the three-peat here in Omaha as they face the top-seeded Florida Gators. South Carolina's Mike Roth faces Florida's Brian Johnson. Tomorrow night on ESPN at 9 p.m.
We'll be here unless this game is still going on tomorrow night at 9 p.m. 3-3 top of the 12th. Benincasa, who has been fabulous, stays on to pitch this inning.
Benincasa, this is a season high, already 3 innings pitched. And if you're Arizona, you want to take that momentum of that last inning into this inning.
Sure do. They've got to be psyched right now. Line drive, but right at the shortstop. Gonzalez makes the catch. That ball was hit on the nose.
And that swing right there would have kept that momentum going. You get a pickoff and then a strikeout and then a line drive. Benincasa, who's been so effective tonight, but right at somebody.
Back to the top of the order for Rickard. And you just wonder how this affects a guy when you're stretching him out at this point. Although it's not so much the innings as it is the pitches thrown, and that's a very low number. This ball's hit hard to left center. In the gap, Ramsey chases it to the wall. Will he go for 3? No, they'll hold him at second base. Rickard with a 1-out double, and that ball was crushed.
Well, you just mentioned it. It's not about the innings, but it's not of pitches, but you never know. Here's a ball that just kind of hung. He's been so sharp since he's been in this ball game, and that ball catches too much of the plate, and Rickard putting a good swing on that and finding the gap. Excellent job out there by the outfielders. Ramsey getting to that ball and getting it in quickly to limit it to a double. So Rickard can't get all the way to third with less than 2 outs.
Go ahead run at second for Field with Mejia on deck. Now Mike Martin wants to come out to talk to his closer.
Well, if you're Arizona, that should put a little life in your step right there. You got a guy in scoring position, like I said. They did a great job that last inning. Looked like they were on the ropes just a little bit. They get a good pickoff and then a strikeout. And now you see both great coaches talking to their teams and figuring out what strategy they're going to use the rest of this inning.
Well, there have been 2 balls hit on the nose, a line out to short, and that shot in the gap that rolled to the 375 mark in left center. And after being so effective, you wonder if Benincasa may have gone effectively about as long as he can go. 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position, but the last 5 have not delivered. They were 3 for 5 before that. That breaking pitch didn't have a lot of snap on it, but it got in there for a called strike. Field is up. Mejia is next. Field still looking for that first hit. If he gets it, he could drive in the go-ahead run. To deep right. That's going to get to the wall and bring home the lead run. An RBI double for Johnny Field. And 3 balls in this inning have been drilled.
Well, you called it. Field looking for that first hit. And this is the first one you want, a big one here. Here's that breaking ball up in the zone. That ball looked like a fastball staying up in the zone. And he crushes that over into the right center gap with a huge RBI double.
Rickard got a very late jump off of second base. He didn't read that line drive very well. I think he was afraid it might be caught, and still he had no problem scoring. And now they're going to walk Mejia intentionally.
I think it just shows how deep this ballpark really is, because him going back to second base, yeah, he thought it was going to be caught, and it's a tough call right there if it was going to be caught or not. And he goes over and he scores easily.
Yeah. First inning allowed, or first run allowed by the FSU bullpen in 7 innings tonight. Done an exceptional job, and Benincasa was almost untouchable until here in the 12th. It was no mystery the first 3 hitters who have faced him here.
Well, we talk so much about High Corbett, their home field, how they utilize those deep alleys out there. Well, they're utilizing the deep alleys here. Once again, let's have a look at the dimensions at High Corbett. Look at that, 410, 405 in the gaps.
How about 366 down the left field line?
Right? As a right-hander, and I go, man, I got that pretty good. And I'm coming back to the dugout. Ouch.
Now Refsnyder with a chance to break this open perhaps. 1 out, 2 runners on. Arizona up 4-3. Already has 2 runs driven in on singles, 2 for 5. And he's driven in a team-leading 63 runs.
I mean, that's a tough decision on Mike Martin's part, going, okay, I'm going to intentionally walk to get to Refsnyder. What he's already done tonight when he had guys in scoring position. He's knocked in a couple of runs, swing the bat so well. And there are times where this really just gets you upset as a hitter, and you really buckle down even more to try to prove that you shouldn't have walked the guy in front of me intentionally.
Trying to set up a double play situation. Fastball in there for a called strike. And Refsnyder has grounded into 13 double plays this year. So he is a candidate to do just that. He's also a candidate to hit one 420 feet and break this open.
Couple of extremes, right? Can hit a double play, can hit it out of the ballpark. And right now, just think about going back up the middle like he did those other at-bats. Just stay nice, hit that line drive right back up the middle. And the guy who's been huge for Arizona is that Kurt Heyer right there.
They have done a great job with that philosophy to take it back through the box. Really nothing down either line. It's gap to gap all night long. And that's why they came in hitting .333, 4th in the country. Benincasa with a 3-2 count to Refsnyder. 2 on, still only 1 out here in the 12th. Now McGee wants to come out to talk.
It's a good time to come out and talk. It's a 3-2 count. Recognizing this is a big pitch. You have a man on second. Let's make sure we're on the same page with the signs. You can say Stephen Manthe warming up. They've had 2 closers. We've seen Matthew Troop. He was closer first half of the season, and Stephen Manthe, he's been the closer late in the half of the season. And Andy Lopez says, well, I have a couple guys I can go with matchups. So
And that's the better part of their bullpen. The long relievers have been the guys who really haven't gotten the job done. This one's popped down the right field line, foul territory, and falls harmlessly. Field at second, Mejia at first after he was intentionally walked. Oh. What a pitch.
Ref Snyder, 3-2. You're not looking for that breaking ball. That was inside.
Yes, it
Definitely was inside. And Casa gets the call. It's a huge pitch right there.
Yes,
it
is.
We'll see if that factors in later, but I mean, it's a whole different at bat when you're coming up with the bases loaded and less than 2 outs with a man on third base.
This one hit hard toward the second baseman. Travis comes up and throws him out. Arizona would have liked to have had more, but they did get one to take the lead.
Got one on the board with a huge hit to right center, utilizing those gaps just like at home and bringing in the go-ahead run.
Bottom of the 12th in Omaha, Arizona has taken the lead over Florida State 4-3. 4-10-1 for Arizona. 3 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for the Seminoles of Florida State. The scheduled hitters, John Holland, Seth Miller, then back to the top of the order for Sherman Johnson. Do or die here in the 12th for Florida State. Troop is on. He's already pitched 1 2/3, 29-1 when they've had the opponent score 4 or fewer runs. The only exceptional loss to Oregon. Holland, who has driven in 2 of the Florida State 3 runs, fouls this one out of play.
John Holland coming up with a huge hit back in the 6th inning when he had a couple of guys on first and second. Hit a huge double in the gap and scored the second run all the way from first base.
Troop trying to close it out. This is with a fastball, 1-1. Some guys love to be up in this situation. Some people would do anything not to be up in this situation. I know you were the former.
You want to be up here. This is the situation. We want to change this game. You want to be a huge factor in it.
That's hit hard but foul. The cruel truth is, the better a player you are, the more you want to be in this situation. If you're a 195 hitter, you don't want to see this ever.
Yeah, there are some people who feel like that, and you're shocked that you have that because you think everybody is like, oh, I want to be up in this situation. Isn't that the situation you talk about? These different types of situations, playing in big games in your backyard when you're, 7th inning, 9th inning game, World Series, whatever it may be,
And it doesn't take you long to identify those players,
right,
does it?
Right. They got a lot of them over there. Both these teams have a lot of those guys on that team.
Fouled to stay alive. 2-2 to Holland. Miller, the on-deck hitter, and then Sherman Johnson back to the top of the order, who already has a solo homer in this game. Mike Martin trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat here in the 12th. That's low. Full count to Holland.
Holland doing a good job to get in this at bat to get the count to full. And these guys are still being patient. They're still looking for their pitches.
Big part of their offense. Bases on balls. They have done it all year long. Fastball popped up. And it will get out of play. Just behind the camera well. Well, this would be a sweet day for the Pac-12 if Arizona can hold on to this win. UCLA won the opener. Another 3-2. Hit to straightaway right field. Ref Snyder makes the catch. 1 out in the Seminole 12th inning. UCLA, of course, has to be licking its chops watching this ball game because they'll play the winner of this game on Sunday with a used up bullpen no matter who wins. Well, I guarantee you neither one of these head coaches is thinking that way right now. They don't care how many guys it takes. They want to win.
They're going,
it.
yeah, I hope we are playing UCLA.
Yeah,
that's what they're thinking.
Right.
Don't help him on the base, Seth. Gotta have base runners, Seth. I'm gonna help it.
You hear Mike Martin yelling, we got to have base runners, Seth. Although I don't know. I mean, we've seen Seth. He when he's with the bases loaded, he's the guy I want up. I mean, 3 home runs and all of them grand slams.
He doesn't need a grand slam right now.
Just needs to get on base.
One and one. 1 out and nobody on in the Florida State 12th inning. Arizona scored in the top of the 12th to take the lead. And Matthew Troop trying to close it out. Popped up in foul territory. This one will reach the seats as well. Well, you know, James Ramsey is just over there licking his chops, hoping for a chance. Can they get to me one more time? Get a couple of guys on, let me hit. Extra innings have not been kind to the Seminoles. 1 and 6 all time in Omaha. None of those guys remember 1999.
Nah, they're not worried about it. They're saying we're the new crew here. Wow.
That hit him. The tying run is aboard. Well, Seth Miller wasn't going to flinch on that one. He was going to take one for the club.
Well, all these guys take one for the club. You see this pitch right here, just trying to get too much of the plate. Yeah, he's not moving out of the way. It's almost like he put that knee into it even more. I mean, either way, I mean, it's a hit by pitch. It's not like he dove into that ball or anything like that. But I mean, that's the 96th time this team has been hit. 96 in 63 games.
And about a third of them have scored. It's been a big part of their offense. About a third of their walks have scored. Now you've got power with Sherman Johnson and Miller on at first. 1 on, 1 out. Fastball on the corner at the knees. Good pitch.
Good pitch. We heard Mike Martin yelling at Seth Miller, just get on base. Well, he has. We talked about James Ramsey licking his chops over there. Well, he possibly might come up here in this inning. So there's a lot going on right now.
Need one more base runner to at least have the mathematical possibility to get Ramsey to the plate. The last time up in a big situation, he struck out. Chased a curveball. You don't fool him all that many times. And Mike Martin is just thinking, let my superstar come up one more time. And Andy Lopez wants none of that. In the dirt. Moore can't find it, and the tying run advances to second.
Well, here's something that Andy Lopez wanted none of, and that's a wild pitch to advance the runner in scoring position. Riley Moore trying to get in front of that ball, and it's tough with a fastball that far out of the zone to be able to get your body, to move your body that quick to try to keep it in front. It just gets away from him.
Miller at second with one out, a 2-1 count to Sherman Johnson. Remember the third inning? Still light. Drilled his 5th home run of the year. Sherman Johnson showing late season power out of that leadoff spot.
See Andy Lopez coming out. Would you think you might have right in the middle of a bat change up the eyesights of the hitter and bring in another pitcher?
I wouldn't be a big fan of bringing in a pitcher with a 2-1 strike count. I think that puts additional pressure on him. I think this might be more defensive again than pitching. Of course, you're not going to walk him to set up a force situation, because then you put the potential winning run on board.
I mean, and then we talked about you walk him, you got Devin Travis, and then you got James Ramsey behind him, so that's all a factor. So
it's the great thing about baseball. There are so many alternate ways you can go. So many things can happen. I think once again he just wanted to set his defense and make sure everybody's on the same page. Now, if there's a ground ball in the infield, do we try to cut down the lead runner, or do we get the sure out at first?
Ground ball, no, you get the lead, you get the for sure out at first base.
2-1. On the ground towards second. Gilbert will throw him out. The runner advances to third. Now 2 gone. And it'll be up to Devin Travis. It is such a huge advantage to win the first game. The pressure immediately falls on the team that loses that first game. They go into the mode of using all the pitchers they have to use in order just to stay in the series. Travis with Ramsey on deck.
Now you have the tying run 90 feet away. It also takes away that bottom part of the strike zone just a little bit, because that ball in the dirt, we've already seen one wild pitch this inning, can tie this game up.
One and one. May have gotten a fortunate strike call on that pitch that appeared to be outside. One and one to Devin Travis. Game hanging in the balance. 2 balls and a strike.
I know you said that pitch appeared to be on the outside, and as a player, you recognize oftentimes when the umpire misses those pitches, or it seems like they're out, and then you're thinking, well, they just did it to us. But I think he's been kind of like that on both ways, so it's not like it's been one way or the other.
2 balls and a strike. The tying run 90 feet away, and Travis chased a high outside fastball that would have been ball 3. Two balls, 2 strikes.
I mean, once again, 90 feet away. It's tough to think about, can I bury that breaking ball? You're thinking about burying that breaking ball. You have an awful lot of confidence. You should have the confidence in your catcher. But here's where that tough pitch comes in.
They're on their feet here at TD Ameritrade. Fastball spoiled.
Great job by Devin Travis to stay alive on that pitch. That was a good fastball on the outer part of the plate.
Well, there's additional pressure on him after that one pitch was called a strike, which appeared to be off the plate. Now, anything out there, you got to go after it, right?
Right, which sets up a good breaking ball that starts off on the outer half and breaks farther away that you end up swinging and missing at.
I think it's all fastballs from here on out. Troop has been tough. Ramsey with those 13 big home runs and that 380+ batting average on deck. But can they get to him? Can Devin Travis keep it alive, or can Matthew Troop win it for Arizona? Here's the 3-2. In the air down the right field line. Ref Snyder gave it everything he had, and it just creeps into the stands.
We talked about foul territory possibly being a factor in some of these games, and that one was almost it right there. I mean, see how big that is, but
there's a lot of room except right there.
Right there. Right where it comes closer to the field.
Pressure on both sides. Arizona trying to preserve the 4-3 lead. Florida State trying to tie it up. Struck him out. What a job by Matthew Troop. With the tying run 90 feet away, he closes out the game with a punch out, and Arizona wins it 4-3.
We talked about that big pitch. Here is that big pitch. God, what a nasty pitch to finish him off with. I mean, that ball started off at the bottom of the strike zone, and it just seemed to keep going down. As a hitter, you have to be swinging at that ball. You can't take that ball. And it's just a great pitch and a great finish.
Oh, that's just filthy on 3-2 in that situation.
And Arizona loving it.
Now time for the Capital One player of the game, Johnny Field, with the game-winning double in the top of the 12th inning to give Arizona the one-run lead they would preserve in the bottom of the 12th. Once again, our final score in 12 innings, Arizona beats Florida State 4-3. Big games coming up tomorrow, Kent State and Arkansas, and then Florida against South Carolina. Sports Center is next. Turn on to ESPNU for tonight's post-game coverage. The College World Series continues tomorrow. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Good night from the College World Series.